Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. We're doing the back-to-back bonus episodes. Bonus episode 40, Courthammer. Yo, Court.
Woo woo!
What's going on?
So excited. This is great. I got the broskies here. We're going to talk hobbying. It's a fun time. Thank you. Thank you for letting me steal this.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. There are few things I like more in life than listening to people that I just met talk about their plastic minis. There are a few things. So this is going to be a treat for me and everyone, I'm sure. This episode, yeah, we're kind of just hanging out, talking some hobby, what we're working on. We also got Logan as well.
Hey, good to be back. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Been a minute, but always nice to have you. And for the first time, we got, you guys both know this chap. His name's Matt. Welcome.
It's good to be here. My first podcast ever. I'm excited.
The old podcast cherry. I've taken many of these. Don't worry, I'll be gentle, but also lovingly firm.
He took mine and it was not gentle.
And now look, he's doing his own like YouTube and podcasting. Like, fuck.
True.
Yikes. You know, it
I'm repeating the trauma.
Man.
But before we get to this episode, some quick housekeeping. Come join our Discord. I've been thinking about launching more Discord events, and we're almost at a Patreon level of dollars where if we reach that, then let's start up some more Discord contests, whether they're painting contests and you get a $50 gift card at the end of the month, or we used to do a bunch of them. So go subscribe to the Patreon. And man, we're so close. Once we hit that threshold, let's do some painting competitions and let's do some Discord events. So if you need access to the Discord, just message on Facebook or the links in the description below.
Yeah. Also, get on our Patreon. Guys, if you enjoy the show and you enjoy what Mark's put together here and the zaniness that he allows within his domain, please join the Imperial Tithe, support the show. It really helps us continue growing and to continue fun bonus episodes and things. Ad-free version of all episodes is only $2.50 a month, so you don't have to do that little skippy boop 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 thing in the beginning. And like Mark gets to a really good point in this lore, and Court's crying because it's about the Horus Heresy. And have you considered your wireless provider? No, it takes me out of the moment.
It's called edging. Get with it. Come on.
But for $2.50 a month, that's it. You get the ad-free version of all the shows. But $5 a month gets you the video version, which some of you might be witnessing now. So, Logan, what's up with the video version?
Yeah, if you guys do the video version, you get to see all of our pretty faces and Court. It's a great time. You get to see when he holds up unique artifacts that he finds, which are always really fun. You get to see my horrified reaction to some of said artifacts because some of them are unhinged. And you get to be a part. You have to join the Patreon to see what he just shook. I'm scared. But if you're part of it, yeah, they're 100% Tic Tacs the way he collects them. But if you do join the Tithe, you could be part of our chat during the show, and if you're in the chat, you have a chance to come on the show while we're recording. So, yeah, $5 a month, you get the teeth tax. $5 a month, you get to come join us.
Yikes!
Oh, we're already unhinged. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to just do a free flow episode. You know, it's fun reading scripts and learning and just cramming that lore down you guys. It's like, well, I guess it's in your ears, not down your throat. But yeah, I'm excited to just do some free flow. And at this point, I'll let Court take it away. Guide me on this journey. What are we doing tonight?
Well, Mark, here's what we're going to do. So you kind of let me take the reins on our trivia episode, the Adeptus Triviaris, which was rad. And so you were like, hey, let's get some more bonus stuff. And so I shot you a bunch of fun episode ideas. And then you're like, let's do a hobby hangout. And so this one tonight is going to be, I wanted to get some of the guys together and just talk about the hobby in general. So I've got a bunch of bullet points, some questions that we're going to go through. We're going to bring in some call-ins, guys. So if you're in the chat, if you're on with us, we are going to bring in 3 call-ins, I believe, during this episode, just to give your side of the hobby and what you enjoy and answer some questions. So this really is going to be a fun episode where you can just sit and paint with us and laugh and whatnot, but we're going to talk all things hobby. And we can't really do that without starting from the beginning. So And when I say hobby, I really mean like gaming in general, 40K, tabletop war games, all that stuff. So we're going to kind of incorporate everything. Games Workshop kind of has their little thing where it's like collect, build, paint, and play. And that kind of covers the hobby. I like that too. We're going to do a lot of that. But tonight we're going to kind of round everything out and just cover all fun little aspects and maybe talk paint tips. We're going to talk even storage, how you prefer to store your minis. Do you have any secret like sauces for painting or secrets for storage? Yeah. You just got a bunch of Tupperware in your cabinets and there's little minis in there.
Yeah. I let the cats play with them and stuff, rattle them around. Yeah. Perfect storage unit.
I don't have it set up in here. It's in my other room, but my desk has a metal frame and I have a bunch of minis because I magnetized the base of all of them. I just stick them upside down on this thing. So there's a bunch of Sisters in Raven Guard just hanging out underneath my desk.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into it. So, let's start here though. So I want to just kind of go around, ask you guys, and Mark, we'll start with the lore father himself. So just give us a little bit of a backstory of how you got into the hobby. Like, what was your first exposure into gaming or 40K? How did it kind of start for you?
Yeah, I walked past the GW and seen the Lord of the Rings minis, and this was in like 2002 type era, 2003. And so my first exposure was Lord of the Rings minis, and I started painting them. And then the movies ended, and I'm like, well, shit. That means no more minis. But I didn't know 20 years later they'd still be making minis for that game. But so I changed over to 40K and been doing it ever since. So just kind of been puttering that way.
What was it that, like, because obviously you were in GW, so you'd probably seen some 40K stuff, but you were drawn to Lord of the Rings, which I can definitely appreciate. So what was it about 40K instead of like their other game systems in the store that really kind of caught your eye?
The artwork, man. I grew up pretty sheltered from like a Christian background, so seeing the artwork and just be like, what in the holy hell is this? Like, just imagine the sweet sheltered little Marquino, so soft, so supple, and then he sees like chaos demons, and you're just like, yo, yeah. So I think it was just like one of those first like, oh, whoa, there's other things out there.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That's pretty rad. Cool. Had you built any models or anything like that before? Were you like building planes or any cars or stuff like that?
There was a hot minute before I bought miniatures because I couldn't afford them, because I was like 10 or 11 at the point, so it took a minute to get some minis. So I was painting Risk miniatures, or like I'm sure Monopoly miniature got painted, but nothing serious.
So you were kind of like yearning for it at the time, like you were.
Yeah. I'm like, give me those Risk minis. Like, I'll paint them. Like, come on, just let me give me a go. Camouflage, I got you.
Boom. Cool. Matt, let's go with you now. So like, just again, tell us a little bit of your hobby backstory. What brought you in?
Mine's a little backstory about myself. Kind of I was in a military household, so traveling all the time. So pretty much since I can remember, my dad super into tabletop gaming and stuff, but I didn't find this out until later. But we had always traveled with board games. And the first, I'd say, tabletop game we actually got into, it was in 2004. It was the old Wizards of the Coast, Pirates of the Spanish Main, the little quick assemble. So I was like my gateway. And then my brothers and I, we'd play that all the time while we were living in Uganda. And then we moved in 2006 to Ethiopia. And I remember this vividly, that I was in a 4th/5th grade class, and it was during lunch. And one of my friends comes over and throws 3 white dwarfs in my face. And he's like, look at this.
Uganda, like, look at these, he said to you.
Yeah, so exposure to that, it started from there. Went over to his house that weekend. He had Necrons. One of our friends had Dark
the Lord's
Eldar.
Army. Very good. Yes.
Yeah, and then his older brother had Space Marines. That was mine, but it wasn't until I never got any minis, because trying to get stuff out to Africa, you could wait up to 6 months if it even showed up. So it was always on the back burner of my mind. And then we moved back to the States and to Virginia. And it was 7th grade. I was getting uniforms for private school. And where we were, they had a game store right next to the uniform store. So I go in there and it's just Warhammer. And I look at my dad, I'm like, I need to do this. So the first thing I got was just the first blister pack of Eldar. And that's the only Eldar I ever actually owned.
Do you remember
that
which
painted up.
Eldar it
Yeah,
was?
what model?
It was the original, like just where it came with the Guardians, the 4-man Guardians for like $8.
I have that. I have the metal ones.
Yeah. So it's the plastic, the first like plastic blister that came in. Got that, and that was in about June. Fast forward that Christmas, my dad's like, he's in it. Bought me the Ultramarine battle set for like $90 for Christmas, and ever since then been Dark Angels.
Wow. Wait. What? You went from got the Ultramarine set and like ever since then I've been like, fuck that, Dark Angels.
Literally.
True.
Okay, so it's funny because my grandparents at that time it's like budget hammer. So grandparents had no idea, but they got my brother and I the Dark Angels Codex.
Oh.
So that's how I was exposed to it. But oddly enough, I already started building and painting, and I wish I had my Rhino with me, but my first Rhino I already started painting as Blood Angels because I love them from the Dawn of War stuff, because I played that when I was in Ethiopia with my friends. And all of a sudden Dark Angels like, I guess I'm Dark Angels now. So just started to paint everything green and everything like that. So that's my exposure to the hobby.
That's rad. Very cool. Logan, Mr. Hydra Thoughts himself. Let's talk your backstory. What do you got, baby?
So I've got kind of a funny backstory because my brother and I, we both loved war games, but we didn't know how to find any war games. So we played Risk 2042, wanted more, started playing Axis and Allies, wanted more.
I love that one. I
Oh,
forgot what
yeah.
it was called, but that was a good one. I think
Yeah.
I like that more than Risk.
It's way better than Risk. Then it wasn't enough for us. So with our Legos, we made our own game that played really close to 40K. Like we built measuring tools for it and we rolled dice and like, okay, if your guy has armor, it's -1 to this. So I have this weapon, so it does this damage, and we balanced it. So we built our own Warhammer game with Legos that we played forever. And then we moved to Arizona and there was a game store that we would walk around. But it's like, man, this is so cool, but I don't know what to start. I don't know what to do.
What was it? What game store?
Outpost.
Imperial Outpost. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So we'd walk around there. And then my brother was in our church's orchestra, and he had a friend who played Warhammer, who had another friend that had extra stuff and a table. So we went to his garage one Saturday, and like he handed me the Space Marine Codex because I said I wanted to play Marines, and I just flipped through it for hours trying to pick which chapter I wanted to play. Then I picked Raven Guard. I went to the GW store where Luke still worked there. And I asked him, hey, can you get me a Captain Shrike? So he ordered me one. And that was my first mini. And how I got into the game was I was like, oh, I like this guy. That's my chapter now.
Did you send me that picture of that Shrike in the bottom?
I
there?
have a mod. I don't have the original Shrike, but I do have my current Shrike that I sent you. That's the dude with the jump back. But yeah, I've been running him. I ran him when he was 185 points. I would run him in a 500-point game.
That looks good,
I liked
too.
him that much. Yeah, thank you. But no, when this one came out, I was just losing my mind because the old one has the giant claws and he's fat and he's top heavy. If he's metal or resin,
you leave
it's a
him
nightmare to get
alone.
him to stay.
You leave Firstborn alone.
But no, now I got this one and I'm like, oh, this is just so beautiful, and I really love this model. And I think I spent like a week painting this guy just because I love the character so much. Thank you.
Good. So it's interesting to hear like you find your love and you find it like pretty early on too. So like you guys are, I mean, I would say that we all kind of started Space Marine-esque and then kind of went off sometimes a little bit. Because for me, it was I liked building models. Like I was kind of a model kid, like growing up. Like I liked doing the snap together stuff. Like level 2 was a little bit too much for me with the glue, so I was like, I don't know.
Specifically, like cars or airplanes or like what?
A
What
good
kind of
question.
models?
Mostly like monsters. Like I loved.
Oh.
I had, and I fuck. I think I threw them away. But for the longest time, I had like the Alien. I had like Alien from the first one that I'd built. I had the Alien from Independence Day as well. I did like planes. I love jets and stuff. So I'd build like F-16s, like a Harrier and all that stuff. So I was really into that. And then it was probably sophomore year. My young life leader and now one of my best friends, Grant, big shout out. It was probably like 2002, so right around when you got into it, Mark. So it was like third edition 40K. He did the sneakiest thing, and I always tell people about this, is like, this is the best way you can get somebody into a hobby. If you want them to play Warhammer or you want them to get into something that's like collectible or whatnot, you buy them part of it, but not all of it. You buy them part of it. So he, for Christmas that year, got all of us, my friends and I, he got us GW gift cards for like $25. And that was just enough to buy my first box of Space Wolf Grey Hunters. And so like, and you're like, what do I like? This is cool. I guess we'll go to the store and see what's up. A bunch of nerds love this. It's great. I'm really into sci-fi things too. But like, what do I do? And he's like, well, this gives you enough to like buy one of your like infantry kits. And so I was there, I remember, with my good friend Patrick at the time, shout out to him as well. And I remember we were standing there like in the Space Marine section and like kind of looking like the rule of cool, like what draws you in? What are you excited about? And he was standing next to me and he found Dark Angels. And he's like, I think I like these guys. And yeah, hand check for you, Matt. Hand check real quick.
Everyone.
That was really slow,
Okay.
Matt.
I know.
That was
He
really
was
slow.
Oh, man.
Ratchet times a little.
But I was standing there and I looked and I saw the like gray bordered, like stone looking, you know, kind of box of the Space Wolves Grey Hunters. And I was like, these guys are the shit. And at that time in high school, I was really into werewolf movies. Like I was really into just like horror werewolf movies. And so I know I fucking knew you were going to laugh at that too, Mark. But like, I was really into it. So I picked up the Space Wolves Grey Hunter box and I was like, I guess I got to play these guys. Like, but then you're hooked. Like
at that age, yeah, you're like, I found my life calling so young.
Yeah.
Who would have thought at such a young age I found my calling?
Yeah.
Collect
So
these.
and then boom, that's the greatest thing. You want somebody to jump into a game with you, you get them a starter deck for Magic or something. Oh, here's a starter. You want to jump them into 40K, you know, hey, play a game and you know what? I'll buy you your first box of infantry or whatever. That's how you do it. Just a little taste.
I'm
I
giving
do
my
like
friend,
that gift card idea where you give them the gift card and then they have to go buy it.
You
know,
have
and
to.
they pick it
you
out
have
and
to,
like
you're obligated.
You get the
yes.
autonomy of picking out what you want, but you're
Yes.
obligated to spend it there. It's genius.
I can confirm.
Man.
I actually did that late last year for my buddy's birthday. I bought him the Raven Guard starter set, and
Oh, nice.
a week after he got out of the army, he sends me a picture. He bought 3,000 points worth of it.
A little deep.
He's like, I'm in.
I'm in.
Yep.
I have a friend who's interested in the Death Guard, and he just graduated from college. And I have Death Guard that I'm not going to play anymore. So I'm like,
That's good.
hey, buddy, want a graduation present? And just slide them over to him.
Nice. Well, I have. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say some are even pre-built and painted, so you can just let's just start playing right now, dude.
There you go. Well, I have, just as a fun little, if you're on the Patreon and watching us right now, or if you're on YouTube and whatnot, I have a model. One of my probably my first year. Maybe this might even be my first Grey Hunters box, but it was my first conversion ever, and I've got it there, Mark. If you're able to see it, it's the little just gray plastic Space Wolf. But he's modeled in such a way that I got in trouble a little bit for bringing him to the local GW.
I'm so excited to see this.
It's my first little kit bash conversion kind of thing. But I put a power fist on him, and he's giving the middle finger. I cut his finger off. I don't know if you can see it, Mark, if you're able to bring it up on the screen.
Oh,
but
I thought you were pulling up. Yeah, I can find it.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I threw it in the share thing. But yeah, He's proudly giving the FU to the Dark Angels and saying, "Come get some."
There we go.
I don't know why, but I know you said Space Wolf, but my brain thought you meant like the actual Fenrisian wolves. And you're like, and I gave it a power fist. I'm like, what did you do with the power fist? Where's this going?
Where's this fist?
What did you do?
Oh,
When you said the middle finger, it immediately my brain went to that whole Angry Marines, the unofficial chapter.
Yeah.
All of their like artwork is always one dude with the power fist.
yeah. So,
cool.
well then let's talk painting a little bit. So let's get into a little bit of like how'd you guys kind of get started in painting? Mark, you were painting a little bit before even 40K. So
like
where'd you
not
learn to
really
paint,
though.
Well, where was it that you like learned to paint your minis?
Eventually through probably Duncan Road. I painted Warhammer minis very sloppily for many years. Like I was just some punk ass kid. I didn't have money for paintbrushes or paints or anything like that. So I was also in school. In school, I was in these stupid little office cubicles where you stare at a wall and you got like this 2x2 space and you can't look around. But no one can look in, and I would paint those Warhammer minis all day long.
Oh, man.
But I would paint them with like little tacks or like whatever I could find it. Like, well, I guess I have a felt marker to paint this guy. Like, it was brutal. It's not good, man.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
That's like the MacGyver way of painting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but honestly, like it probably took me like 5 or 6 years before I seriously started to try to learn to paint. And then it was like, through the internet kind of became accessible.
Yeah, YouTube has been such a great resource for learning new techniques and things.
Yeah, like it's crazy going back to like White Dwarfs and looking at what they expected you to paint, and they're like, "Here's how you paint this guy. 3 steps, and you can get a masterclass model, and you only have to use 4 paint colors."
Yeah, on the back of the boxes, and like back in the day, it was such a joke. You're like, "Oh, I only need these 4 paint pots. Wow, that's it."
Yeah,
it's nothing close to what the heavy metal team was
catfish
doing.
the shit out of us. I'll tell you that.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you? How did you kind of learn to paint, and what was your like bread and butter?
So grandfather's an engineer, and he actually was in his free time kind of did the Bob Ross painting, and so I actually did oil and canvas, and it carried on through my dad. My dad was, and he's to this day really into like World War II models. So starting at the age of 4, my dad kind of did a thing with my brothers and I where he would buy a model kit, and we would sit there and my dad and I would build and paint. So it started off with a plane, and then armor crime. That's kind of how I learned just the basics to painting. Had to completely learn how to do acrylics, and then just like Mark over here, just wherever I could get paint, whatever I could do, just throwing it together because this high school, just trying to figure it out. And it really wasn't
out there for a young guy.
It really is. And then college, it changed because I got a minor in art, and the coolest thing is we had free paint. So I would just start taking a bunch of the free paints and brushes and start, and that's where I learned a lot of my techniques, especially like with color theory. And I just took that from just flat on canvas and started applying that to my models. And then over the years, it's changed, especially my time in the military. I wouldn't have much time to really I couldn't spend 4 or 5 hours on a model. So just how can I Bob Ross this and just throw paint on there really quick, but make it look good?
It is kind of crazy how different though canvas painting and miniature painting is. Like you think that's same skill almost, and it kind of is, but man, it's so different, especially nowadays where you're just kind of washing miniatures and using the miniature's own form to paint. What kind of things did you mostly paint on canvas?
Canvas. My favorite stuff was Impressionism and Surrealism. So that was like early 1900s. Type dreamscapes, and so it's very more abstract-ish, but you could still make it out. But like you said, it's definitely interesting because like on canvas, you're trying to make something 2-dimensional look 3-dimensional, whereas in a sense, it's almost reversed with like 40K or minis, it's like you're taking
Yeah.
a 3-dimensional thing, and a lot of times with art on the minis, you're making it look more 2-dimensional.
Yeah.
Not to be the old man yelling at the cloud, but like I think it's so much easier nowadays than it was back then, because when we
Yeah.
had like the metal minis and stuff that wasn't as well modeled or defined, it almost kind of harkens back to what you're saying, Matt, of like painting on just flat surface canvas. These old models, as beloved as they are, were just shit at times, just really bad. And you like you had to define with your paint job where things started and ended. Like there were times where you're like, I think that's his shoulder or maybe his neck. I don't know, but like you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
You literally had to make a decision of where that goes.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
like to reinforce that, I'd actually shout out to my dad, like not on social media, but just kind of a shout out. He actually is the one, a lot of his models, even with like the old Eldar ones, there's no defined, as you're saying, detail. And he'd be like, Matt, you just got to commit. Like, if you want to make a hairline, make it look like a hairline. Just, you want to paint it, just paint it on there. And I was like, I never thought about that, because at that time I was like, I need to find the details of the paint it, but what if there are no details? And he's like, make your own.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to define where things go, and a lot of times, especially, that's still, even now, it's still the eyes. It's like, is that his eye or is that his eyelid? I don't know. I think I'm doing it.
I think they're getting better with eyes, though.
Say again?
The newer models are much better with the eyes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but
like they're deep enough in there you can get like loose white paint and just kind of like gently touch it, and it'll just fill in that section.
Yeah, definitely better now. Well, what about you, Logan? Like, where'd you kind of learn to paint? Where'd you hone your skills?
All right, so two things. One, Matt, I painted this, so be impressed with my artistic skill. Two, I want to say I paint with a nice Talon airbrush now. Here's a sample of one of the things I'm working on. It looks much nicer. Ooh, and I'm telling you all that to tell you how I started painting, because it is horrific. So what I used to do is I would get my models on the sprue and I would base coat them still on the sprue. Twice. Oh, no, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Twice. So I base coat the models on the sprue twice, because I want to make sure they look.
When you say base coat, do you mean prime or actual base coat?
Oh, yeah, prime.
Okay, I was like, you're just putting paint on plastic. Okay.
And then I'd let it dry, and then it took me 5 days to build a Storm Talon, because that's how I was building it. It was horrific. Reasonable. Yeah. So then I would cut out the piece. I would trim out plastic so it was naked, so I could glue them together. I would get them glued together, and I was young college, no real money. So I went to the hobby store, and they had these cheap pots of acrylic paint that were like impossible to thin or anything. And I had like this terrible brush from like some art kit that I found in our closet. So after these already thickly painted minis are here, I would take that and I would dip and just one thick coat wherever I needed it to be. Oh no, it's going to get worse. I'm not done yet. Come back with black and paint over anything I didn't mean to be whatever color it was. And then with that same brush, that the bristles are like an inch long, so this is already a task. I love how horrified Court is. I did get lead belcher. That's the only color I had. So I would dip it in the lead belcher, dry it off, and try to dry brush the models with this really long brushes. And I was proud of those.
Listeners, if you want to do a fun little activity, do a Logan paint job, and let's put them on Discord.
No, my God.
Yeah, the starties. Oh, it was bad, Fuzz. It was bad. I still have one of them. I called him Snowball because his helmet was white, but it was white because I kept painting over and over and over and over with this white acrylic paint to make it look white. Oh yeah, but it was horrific. And that's why I prefaced everything like, look, I have a nice airbrush. I have this pretty Helldrake that I'm working on. Here's a nice Terminator I painted.
That doesn't forgive the sins of the past.
No, it doesn't, but I had to justify. I'm like, I don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But
oh my God.
That was in my head. I'm like, because the reason I did it that way is in my head. I'm like, okay, I have to get paint in every spot. There must be paint in every spot. So I would also not build the whole model. I'd put the body together, paint the chest and stuff that'd be covered, and then put the guns and arms on. I don't do that anymore. Now I'm just like, if I can't see it, nobody else can, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so many fun
sick.
there's so many fun things. Just like we've all been there, we've all done that stuff. Like I've definitely tried that technique. You know what? Maybe I'll like paint everything like on the sprue, or at least prime it on the sprue, and then I'll put it together. And then inevitably, there's a piece that's just like bare gray. It's just not happening. When I started learning to paint, it was at GW. So they had little painting classes you can come in. It was like this food court style table where it was like the metal table and they had like the metal chairs attached to the table at the bottom. And you'd sit there like it was like a 90s food court kind of thing, but it's really 2000s.
Holy
And
crap.
and they'd bring out your paint and you'd like go in the back behind them all and you'd walk through with your minis and spray paint them and learn to prime and then come back and wait for them to dry. And I remember the guys at the Arizona Mills Games Workshop, big shout out to them, Kyle, Walker, Matt, those guys were instrumental in really bringing me to this point actually. So they would just sit with me very patiently and, you know, how do you want your Space Wolves? And I would be like, fuck baby blue, they're gray. Like, I don't want this bullshit. I remember reading Space Wolf, the novel in high school, and I loved it. And I loved the way that Ragnar Blackmane looked on the cover. And he wasn't this baby blue, sky blue thing, which if that's your thing, cool, whatever. But I was like, no, he's gray and dark. And that's what I wanted. And they're like, okay, well.
I think I really would have really liked a younger you.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, we could have sat in a basement together and just hated the world.
Yes.
Yikes.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
now you sit remotely and semi hate the world.
Yes. I just hate Phoenix. Oh man. Fuck yeah. But yeah, those guys were really big in helping me learn to paint initially.
I've got an important question for you, Court.
Okay.
What do you think of the new Space Wolf models that they just revealed this week?
I just saw a few of them and they look cool. I'm definitely, after playing with Matt this weekend, we did a 4 for all, which was fun. And he had a tank on the table and I was like, oh, you know, I'm playing Necrons. I'm like, I miss tanks. So I was like, I have my itch to start my Space Wolves up again. And I just looked at the one that I painted recently and I was like, that, like 15-year-old Court would be like, that's how they should look. That's how they should look. So now I'm a little inspired. So yes, the new models look cool. I only have like the Combat Patrol and Firstborn Marines. I have Firstborn Blood Claws. But
okay, so you got a whole bunch ahead of you then too.
Yeah.
Get if you needed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
So okay, let's just move forward a little bit. Speaking of armies then in general. So let's just go around real quick. And what are you guys currently playing? Like, what is your go-to 40K army that you're playing right now, Mark?
I haven't played in many years, unfortunately, so we'll say pass.
What would be, if you were going to play right now, what would be your or not necessarily chapter, but what would be your army?
I was always the guy that would cycle through. So like when I was playing, I would kind of cycle through 4 armies type thing in edition, and then next edition pick up another 4. Kind of just keep cycling through. So yeah. I loved them all. Like at one point or another, I pretty much played every army for a good period of time. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite that stood out to you?
I think one of my favorite was my Tau army of Devilfish tanks and Tau breachers, where you get 3 Devilfish, you fill them full of breachers, you get a couple hammerheads, and then you just drive those breachers up and you fucking shoot with your super close shotguns, and you can wipe out Space Marines, and you just hit so hard in like turn 2. Yeah, I love that army. It was fun because the other point of it too was it was super mobile. So you're moving, you're shooting, and then you watch all your Tau get massacred. So that was also fun because at the end of the day, we don't want Tau.
We don't want Tau. You can still do that. That's still a really effective strategy with the Tau.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Logan, let's go with you now. What are you currently playing?
Currently, immediately right now, I'm working on the Emperor's Children because I played them before and I liked them a lot. But when they said they were going to have a codex coming, I was like, okay, so I put them on hold because I didn't want to buy a bunch of stuff that wouldn't work. And I'm doing that at the Slow Grow at Funkatronic Rex right now. Love that. Just love the melee. Love the speed. Super fun. My main army is Raven Guard, just because I love this sneaky. I also love the jump packs. That's just always been fun for me. And the last one I play is the Sisters of Battle, because I love the religious fanatic angle, and they're kind of my tank army because I love running all their beautiful, beautiful tanks. It's so fun.
Those models are amazing. Their tanks are so cool. Yeah,
so great.
Matt, what's your current army? What are you going to right now?
Go to, as of the past couple months, I'd say Dark Angels.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah, no, but I have a fair hefty amount that I bounce between. Like Necrons is another one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at getting back into my Dark Eldar.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a pretty hefty chunk of Death Guard, but that was like right when Mortarion came out.
Oh yeah.
So I had to hop on that, and then Tau. I'd say if I could do things over, I'd go 50-50 with Dark Angels, but also I love Imperial Guard, especially Catechins, but the models
Don't
are
live that way,
absolutely
man. Life's long. It'll be full of regret if you're like, I wish I would have done Dark Angels from the beginning. You just gotta look forward and say, I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna make up for past regrets and do them eventually.
Yeah.
Get them more.
Sweet. For me, I'm playing Necrons. I love it. I love them. They're so cool. I like a shooty army, not to the point of Tau, but I do like a shooty army, and I love. I've written a little bit of backstory for the guys that I have now, which is cool. So, Necrons is my current army. In the future, it's probably going back to Space Wolves. Yeah.
What's your favorite Necron unit?
Immortals,
Okay.
and you put them with some sort of like Plasmancer or Chronomancer. Chronomancer lets them move, shoot, move, which is nice. Plasmancer lets them crit on 5s. So if we're going, I know it's good, man. Here we go. So if you're, we're gonna do a little meta thing here. 10 Immortals with Tesla carbines. You throw a Plasmamancer in there because with the Immortals and Tesla carbine, it crits on 6s normally, so they sustain hits 2. So every 6 becomes 2 extra hits. With a Plasmancer, it crits on 5s. So they're 2 shots each. 10 Immortals, you're rolling 20 dice to start, and you may end up with more shots than you initially had.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then you
people
throw
say
in,
I'm a meta gamer.
Oh man, I know. And then you throw in a the little Cryptek guards. I forget what they're called. They kind of look like the
I hate those.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do, and I hate them.
They're good. They're good bodyguards. They're very good.
Annoying.
I know. Yeah. So that's probably my favorite unit. And you can even throw like a Royal Warden in there too. So you throw like an actual Royal unit and a Plasmancer because they're a Cryptek, I believe. And then you can throw in bodyguards. So this one unit is just fucking monstrous. It's very good.
Yeah, it seems like they have a lot of little specialty buffer units with like Plasmancers. I forget what they're all called, but it seems to be a bunch of those ones now for Necron.
Yeah, it's very cool. You can kind of customize how you lead certain units. Like, do you want this one to be really up front? So like Chronomancer in there, you move, you shoot, then you get to move a free 6. And so that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's fun to see that you can take one unit that does one thing usually and kind of make it a little unique. So
I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Yeah, so my following question, we're all talking about like our go-to armies. When you decide to pick that army, or when you're deciding looking at a new army, what is it that gets you into it? Is it the model's aesthetic? Or for example, usually what gets me is whenever I'm reading one of the books, the 40K books, the novels, that's what gets me into it. Like for me, what got me into the Necrons was reading the book with Trazyn and the Infinite and Oric the Diviner. Diviner. Like that little banter is usually reading that lore, or in the books, that's what usually gets me into starting a new army. So if we can go around.
Yeah.
And then what from there? Do you you then Google it and hope to God you'll like what they look like, or?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Like I'll have like a preconceived notion of like what they look like in my head, and then I'm googling like, all right, let's take a shot in the dark. Hopefully, they look cool.
Please. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like for example, I wanted to start. I can't remember the name of the book, but it was mid 2000s. It was about Huron Blackheart and the Corsairs, and I love that book. As far as like describing ship to ship combat in the 40K setting, fantastic. But the way they described Huron Blackheart in the book, and then when the mini came, and then looking at the mini, I was like, nope, not starting this army. He looks absolutely atrocious.
Oh man, that's
the worst blind date. You just hear about somebody like, wow, they seem really cool, and you
Yeah.
show up, you're like,
I got catfished.
Yeah.
Hate it when that happens.
Missing an arm, not gonna work out. Sorry.
My kidney.
oh, she's got a Nickelback t-shirt on. This isn't going well.
This isn't going well. How do you guys start, Logan? What kind of gets you going?
I picked the Raven Guard based on I liked stealth things, so that's why I picked them. And then I said I picked the sisters because I think the religious fanaticism is hilarious. And then
everybody loves a little religious fanaticism.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I love it. And then I had Death Guard for a while because I liked the aesthetic, but I didn't like how they played. And then I learned about the Emperor's Children, the sonic weapons, and how perfect they are. And I'm like, oh yes, I need this army. So then when it finally came out, I'm like, this is even better. So I've been having a lot of fun with them.
Nice. For me, it's usually just rule of cool as far as looks goes right off the bat. Like, if it looks cool, then I want to know more. And if their lore really solidifies it for me, then we're in. But like anything that looks appealing in certain ways, I'm like, that's kind of neat. Lore can get me a little bit further at times. Like, I don't necessarily like the look of like Gene Stealer cults.
It can kind of get me off. It's all right. It kind of get me going.
It's all right. Like, I don't really like the way Gene Stealer cults looks, but I love their lore. Like, I think their lore is really cool. But I also don't want to shell out a ton of money. So that army is not for me.
Yeah. Isn't that
and unfortunately,
awful? Like,
I love Adeptus Mechanicus. I love AdMech. I love the lore. But I fucking hate their models. They look, to me, I do not like the way they look.
How dare you, sir?
I just don't.
How dare you, sir?
If I could run an army of all like tech priests and more like the servitors are cool, but like the 1950s style robot just doesn't get me. I don't know. So sorry.
You're a monster. Mr. Skeleton Robot doesn't like the 1950s robot.
That doesn't correlate.
I don't know, man.
He looks like he has a TV, like a 1950s TV for a head.
One model. Model.
Yeah, but
there's all the
problem
cool.
Is you don't need one. You need to buy 9 boxes to start an army with them.
No, you don't want that.
No.
I want to debate that, but that sounds accurate. Because do you know Mike LeBlanc?
You mean Matt LeBlanc?
No. Not
Matt LeBlanc from Friends?
No, not Matt LeBlanc from Friends. I mean, Mike LeBlanc.
No.
He plays AdMech at the shop. He's got the orange ones, and he's just got, he bought a metal cabinet specifically for them. And he does kind of like what I do, but he's got like the bottom, and then the sides are going up, and then he's got some stuff on the top. But he's got hundreds of them, and they're really cool looking.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. What about you, Mark? What gets your goat going?
Yeah, I think I will usually be rummaging around through Lexicanum and reading something, be like, that sounds fucking tight. I need to see that. And then they'll either have a model for it, or I will have to go through extreme measures known as Mark rules to not only make my own models, but also rules so I can have what I want. But it's just the way it goes sometimes.
He gone.
I'm back, I think, now.
No, it was him. You were fine. I think he was the problem.
Hello.
Yeah, it's because he disrespected the toasters.
Dude, you know what? He disrespected the AdMech, and the machine spirit said, "No, you're done. Kick him out."
Absolutely.
Out of here.
That or
Oh.
Mark did it for drama, but I think it was the Machine Spirit.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Machine Spirit.
Yeah, but continuing on, what about armies you don't play anymore?
Ah, yes, the
Ooh.
pile of forgotten minis. It grows every year. Every year,
Yes.
another one's added.
Yeah, and it's just like, what do I do with these?
Yeah, starts collecting dust. You run out of storage space, but man, it's like a graveyard of glory. Like I just feel like I've gone through so many. It's like, oh man, what is in there? I don't want to tally it up. It could be financially ruining, to know that. But
Heartbreaking.
You will not
I've-
financially recover from this.
no, sir.
I've been selling my Tau stuff bit by bit, mostly when I find it, and it's like, oh my god, I have more battle suits. I thought I was done. Why did I do this?
Yeah.
I found a whole Riptide the other day. I didn't know I had another Riptide. I just found it. I'm like,
Oh
why?
my
And it was
gosh.
built too. I forgot I had a built Riptide. That's how many models I just had laying around at some point. It's just
That's
that's
Yeah.
talent.
Well, let's.
I would.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, welcome back, Court.
Thank you.
should
Yeah, my
definitely
internet
pray to
took a
the.
dump.
It's the Machine Spirit.
I
They
started
made it back.
pissing on the AdMech, and the
Yep.
You
machine
missed the
god
Omni
got
Saya.
so upset with me.
So the question was, Court, since you missed that, was that almost like pile of shame or like armies that you no longer play?
Yes.
Whatever reason. Mine, it's I have two. The first one is Custodes. I got those like right when I joined the army because it was like, what is the cheapest army to play, and which looks cool. And then I started building, painting them, and I got bored. I got bored just painting gold. Not saying that they're bad or anything, but I just got bored. And I haven't touched them since. And then the other one's kind of, I would love to get back into it. It was Catachan, the Imperial Guard Catachans, but the models are just so old.
There's some great third-party ones nowadays, like War Game exclusives. I like theirs, but yeah.
I heard that Catachans are going to come back after they're finished with the Krieg.
I would love that, and my wallet would not.
Yeah, I could definitely see like there being a kill team or whatever of all these different regiments.
I think because that's how the Krieg. That's how Krieg started, was kill team box,
Kill
and now
team.
they have a whole subset of guys. So I think Catachan's going to be the same way. They'll start with a kill team and then grow the range out, which is honestly really cool because I saw pictures of old guard, like the models they used to have, and it's like, oh, this used to be way cooler than it is now. Now it's
Yeah,
just
man, they used to have so
Arcadia.
many guard regiments. They were so good.
So if we're on the topic of past armies, then I'll just burn through my list. So starting with Space Wolves, that was the first one. Then I believe we went to, I believe it was Tau. I think I started playing Tau right after that because they just got introduced when I was playing in the beginning. And I thought they were really cool. And then I played Eldar. I was playing Craft World Ulthway. I really liked them. I thought they were cool. Demon Hunters came out, and I was like, oh, I want to play this army so bad. And I was like 17. I couldn't afford it or something. So I was like, no way.
Oh, it was all metal minis at that
It was
point.
all metal minis
Yeah.
too. Oh
Fuck.
my gosh. And my buddy Grant, who I mentioned earlier, was like, he was playing them, and I was like, you don't want to be the guy in your friend group that like doubles up necessarily at that point when it's a small group. So I was like, all right, you son of a bitch, you can play that. So then from Eldar, I got Chaos. Actually, I traded a guitar of mine at the time and got this guy's Warhammer lot, like all of it. And I still have some little bits of it, but it came with like a full like 3rd, 4th edition Chaos army, even like the Defiler. So I played that. And then I think I stopped for a while. I moved to Hollywood, then didn't play a bunch, came back, and then picked back up with Space Wolves in 9th because I was like, I'm going to do it. Here we go, Space Wolves. And my buddy
The wolves are back in town.
My buddy Dallas did the fucking Grant thing. He basically bought me a combat patrol, and so I had to like play. But then I was trying to list build, and I was like, this is so dumb. This is so stupid. I hate 9th edition. I can't do this. And then I know you look at me with judgment, Logan. I see that.
You're so wrong so often.
I just couldn't do it. I was, well, and I know this is a long story short, or a short story long, but like I was playing Age of Sigmar where I was like, this is easy and I love it. It's great. So getting back into 40K felt like lifting weights for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't like this. And it was so bad. So they got shelved. 10th edition came out. Tyranids was my next army when 10th launched. Then I was like, I don't want to paint these anymore. So then I went to Necrons and I was like, yes, this is great. We're at Necrons. So yes.
It's been a journey, hey?
Yeah.
And you kind of just go from one army to next so frivolously, you know?
I know.
Where once your past love was all you could think of, then you move on to the next pile of plastic.
One thing that I try and think of, and I saw this like on Pinterest or something, I was scrolling through, and there was like this little inspirational thing, and it said, remember when you wanted what you have now? And I was like, oh shit. Because there's so many times like, oh, I got to go get that model. Oh, I got to go get that game, that mini, that this. And you're so excited and you get home and you open it. Or even like a record, you know, you get like a vinyl and you're like, oh yes, finally, you know, and remember like what it was like to want that so bad. And now you have it. Cherish that. I just think it's rad. So,
yeah.
But yes, I go through armies and games very quickly. So, and let's go to that now. So speaking of moving on and games and things, this is going to be one of our first call-in sections, which we'll do at the end of this section, but I want you guys to answer first. So let's talk games. It doesn't have to be 40K necessarily. Like, this is the hobby. So what games are you currently playing, or what games are you getting into right now? So I'll kick this off. Trench Crusade. I am really loving Trench Crusade. I know Matt is. We're going to get Logan in on this. I've got a full Discord that my buddy Christian and I created, and we've got like 30 people on there now, and it's great. If you guys want to jump on, I'll put a link in our Discord for it. But Trench Crusade is very exciting. I'm playing that. I'm getting into, and Mark, I know you're excited about this. I'm getting into Middle Earth strategy battle game. So I'm getting into the Lord of the Rings tabletop game, and I'm really psyched. Really psyched for that.
You're going to like it, man. You're going to play that game and you're going to play every other game and be like, wow, they're all so complicated and needlessly just like.
Yeah, I played my first game like 2 weeks ago and I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah,
this is
simple.
Good.
Move some minis, make a shield wall. Fuck yeah. Oh shit, there's a troll.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah. And then as far as like I guess it's still hobby, but like I'm actively collecting Lord of the Rings games because I have like a secret project that I want to do next year. But I'm trying to collect as many Lord of the Rings games as I can. So yeah, playing 40K. I want to get back into AOS with 4.0, and then Trench Crusade's a big one I'm into now, and then Middle Earth strategy battle games is coming up for me too, for sure. So
lots or a couple people playing Trench Crusade. Kind of, what do you like about it? Is it the aesthetic? Is it a good gameplay? What's kind of the vibe here?
For me, I played a little bit of Mordheim, and I really liked that. I love the idea of doing a war band, not having to build and paint a full army, but just the idea of like you can characterize 10 minis and make a story. It's very cinematic. I love that. And I think they give you just enough where there's a lot that you can go off of and create yourself. I really liked the art. And so that for me, it was like you've got the Mordheim style because it's Thomas Pernin who created it, and you have a really good world that's built. So I was in, and the minis are cool. So that was what drew me.
Yeah. No, that checks out.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? Are you starting any games up? Are you looking forward to playing something, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm wanting to start another army here, and I've been thinking, just bouncing around between a couple. For a couple listeners, you've heard of the Chaos Unbound concept I've kind of been fleshing out over a few episodes. And I've been thinking about doing an army up for them, which would be Chaos Unbound is basically worshippers of chaos who worship the warp and the energy. They don't worship any gods. They are just using the energy for their own good, their own power. So examples would be like Be'lakor or Chaos Furies. These are kind of examples of Unbound. So I've just been kind of going through in my head, oh, which mini, how am I going to convert that? What am I going to do? Just working on a buy list. And then if it all checks out, maybe I'll pull that trigger.
That'd be sweet. I like that idea. That's a kind of a cool take on chaos.
Yeah, I just feel like there's it's so close. It almost existed in 40K, this idea anyways. It probably existed in the past and it kind of got muddled in with Chaos Undivided. So I'm just trying to break those two up, where Chaos Undivided is you're worshiping many gods, where Chaos Unbound, no gods, just using war. So
cool. It reminds me of, I don't know why, but it reminds me of Conan, where he's like, Crom, to hell with you. I could just see like some sort of like Chaos Marine, like Nurgle, to hell with you. And you too, Zinch, and fuck you, Slanesh.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Korn. Yeah.
Well, that's almost like malice energy, though.
Oh,
where it's
You're
like
right.
God against himself. Like they're just, they will side with their chaos gods because they'll give them more power, but like they want their own independence. Like almost Abaddon, the Despoiler, would be unbound, because he's trying to just use the warp and like he's still maintaining his will and all that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But
it also sounds a bit also like the word bearers in at least during the Horus Heresy. The book Betrayer, that definitely, like the way the word bearers were operating like that, definitely sounds like what you're talking about, how instead of worshiping specific gods and whatnot, they're like, hey, let's use the warp to kind of shape our own fate and our own future. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, what about you? Like, what are you playing right now? Come on.
Getting back in 40K. You did Trench Crusade, of course.
Yeah.
Using this opportunity now that I'm out of the military to like get back into games, I kind of got into a lot of Kickstarters. So I want to try. There was one called Chronicles of Hate. It's kind of like Conan the Barbarian, but post-apocalyptic. I want to dive back into that. And then I know you and I played Silver Tower with like the Warhammer quest with that. So I want to definitely nosedive back into that. But for the most part, it's just 40K and Trench Crusade. Oh, and then also A Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh,
Court was the one that got me.
I can't even believe I forgot that. Yep.
I love.
It's always another mini game.
Yeah.
I liked it because back in the day, Lord of the Rings, I think it was Battle of Five Armies. So it's just like mass armies moving around, and A Song of Ice and Fire plays a lot like that, and I'm really enjoying that. Just if you're gonna go with the bears, the snow bears are not fun to paint.
Yeah. Well, there's one that you missed that Logan's gonna pick up on.
Yeah, don't worry, I got you, Matt.
Yeah.
So, of course, Warhammer. Court got me to Song of Ice and Fire. Matt and I are getting into the Halo Flashpoint game.
Yes, I completely brain fun.
I knew you. I know.
I got you.
I feel bad.
I also just got the Apex Legends board game, which kind of looks like Halo Flashpoint, but it's clearly different game systems, but similar premise on how it works. So I'm super excited about that.
I saw your post on the Discord about that.
Yeah, and then like you, I also like Kickstarter and GameFound games. So I've got Leviathans. I'm waiting for that to come. It's a steampunk airship game that's coming.
I've definitely seen that.
Yeah, I just backed Blasphemous, the board game, because it has really cool minis. Grim Coven and this War of Mine 2nd edition just went up. So I just love the mini war games. Is he drinking chalky milk?
Yes, Matt is drinking a gallon of chalky milk. He's slamming it hard.
Don't you judge my man and his chalky milk.
Logan, if I could jump in just real quick on your game found thing, I want to add one that I think, and listeners and viewers, like, please check these guys out. The game is called 1490 Doom. 1490 Doom. And it is so fun. Big shout out to my friend Matt, other Matt, different Matt, that taught me this game. And it was in its early stages, like pre-campaign, pre-game found campaign. And I talked briefly to like the creator on Discord, super nice guy, and their Discord's hopping. It's great. Very fun, small skirmish game where I think you're only bringing 3 minis. Your list is 3 minis. It's mini agnostic. You're trying to get to the top of a tower, get objectives, and push each other off. That's a very bare bones way of saying it. But like, if you like game found stuff, Logan, check out 1490 Doom. It's very cool.
I just did, and it is not live yet.
Okay, so it's still starting. All right.
Yep, still starting. And if you follow it now on GameFound, you get a free gift.
Mm-hmm.
So I just followed it, and it looks really cool. I like the vibe.
Their world building is very neat. I think, unfortunately, it's getting overshadowed a little bit by Trench Crusade.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's just a timing thing, but they have a podcast and YouTube channel that's dedicated just to audio stories about the world, just like
that's cool.
One-off stories of people. And I'm sorry, I've totally like stolen your vibe here and what your answer was, but just to go on them a little bit, like the year is 1490. In the year 1494, I believe, the world ends. The world just ends because there's a noxious, toxic cloud of like toxic gas coming from the earth, and it's constantly rising, and people are just dying off. And so you're fighting for like literal airspace, like breathable airspace at the top of castles and things. And you've formed your war band, and so you're just trying to get to safety and get certain objectives. And it's very simple to play, very fun. And you form Doom companies. So anyway, big shout out. Sorry, that was
Court being a non-paid spokesperson for all these games.
I know, but I just love games. I fucking love games. That's why we're here, baby. Hobby hang.
True.
Yeah. Sorry, Logan, but please.
No, it's fine. I like game found games because I like backing independent creators and newer game studios, because GW is a monolith.
Mm-hmm.
And hot take, I do think 40K is a good game, because I know a lot of people complain about it all the time, but it is a good game. It's fun to play. But when you find other ones that are smaller or have unique looks, it's so much fun. Like the Halo Flashpoint, because you've played it, Matt's played it. They really did a good job of capturing the magic of Halo in a dice game, which a lot of people didn't think was possible. But it's like, oh yeah, this feels like we're playing Halo. It's fast paced. It's going. It's funny. I can charge you and kick you over, and you can come back right on that same spot and kill me. This is great. I love what's happening.
That and the minis look great too.
Oh, dude, the minis are beautiful, and so this was a selling point for me with A Song of Ice and Fire. It's a selling point with Halo, and it's a selling point with the Apex game. The minis are all pre-assembled, and I love assembling minis. It's a lot of fun, but it's like I also like assembling Zoid models and other models. So it's like when I can just buy a game and play it immediately. Love it. I'll paint them eventually, but I don't need to right now, baby. I could just have fun.
That is
Martell Orange
too.
Yeah, Martell Orange all day. Let's go.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we're gonna get a call in here from someone, because I want to bring this open door a little bit and just talk about like what are you playing, what are you looking forward to play. There's so many fun games that I think, Logan, you really hit it on, like the idea of like going to seek out games, like actively looking for like what's coming up, anything that interests you. I'm a big board game guy too. Just real quick, like while we're getting a call in, jumping in, like are you guys big board gamers too?
Yeah, I just got another Kickstarter game called Everbloom, and it's competitive, but it's not like a war game. You're trying to build your grove and your hybrid animals and collect honey, and whoever collects the most honey is the great winner. I'm not even kidding. You get to build an entire ecosystem and collect honey. Sometimes I need a break from killing everyone. Sometimes I just want to make a grove and have some honey.
if this was anybody else telling me about this game, I'd be like, okay. But because it's you, I really want to play it.
Yeah, I know you want to play it. It's really it's fun. We're gonna play it.
Oh man. Yeah, so let's who are we bringing on, Mark? Let's chat them up and
All
see
right.
what they're
I think
playing.
we got Grim coming to the stage here. We got a couple call-ins today, so don't worry if you're still lingering. Yeah, Grim, how are you doing?
How's it going, fellas?
Hey Grim, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Just enjoying the show, working on a little custom mini myself, and yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
your hair's looking absolutely ridiculous.
Style.
As per usual.
Yeah, it's quite the look. I like it. Show me your model now.
Yeah, what are you working on?
This I sent you on Discord there. This is kind of a little hard to see. So
Oh,
kind of Thousand Suns custom Terminator. I happened to score a little bird head for that fella.
cool.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be a pretty fucking gnarly model to have on the table.
Yeah.
It's strictly built for 7th edition, or what we call beer hammer in my house.
Get all
So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty fucking nasty unit. Unfortunately for the bastards that have to play against it, salt.
So Grim, what other games are you into right now, or is there anything that you're kind of get your heart set on that you might be wanting to get into, or even different editions, like you said, of 40K? Like, what are you currently playing?
Like typically for 40K, I play like 5th, 6th, 7th, and I've been kind of dabbling in 10th a bit. I do have some old world stuff. So when that first dropped, a couple buddies, we all played a shit ton of that, and it's kind of wasn't right the same feel. However, I did pick up this really cool drinking game. It's called Heroes of Barcadia. And one of my buddies, he's actually in the chat right now. We were playing one night. We were up till like fucking 2 a.m, and like you roll a d20, and that's basically how like you do everything. If you roll a 1 on a 20, man, you gotta drink this thing.
Bottoms up.
And the health bar for the character is like the cup. So you always gotta have a little beer to have
my
a sip on, and
gosh.
you like top yourself up, dude. If you guys haven't seen it, it is the most ridiculous fucking game ever. And I think right now it's up to, I think it comes with 6 cups, but then there's a whole bunch of like little bonus cups that you can buy afterwards. And dude, it's so cool. Like you kind of work your way through this little dungeon that you can prefab, or you just like draw cards and you run into bosses, monsters, loot cards. Dude, it was fucking sweet. I played it with my parents. They got fucking hammered.
Wow.
Family board game night.
Yeah, well, that
Wow.
was just it. I was like, my wife and I, we had gone over to my parents, and we hadn't seen them in a while. It's like, you know what? Let's play a little bit of a dice game. And they're looking at me like this is the dumbest fucking thing ever. Once they played, died a few times, they're like, this is great.
Once alcoholism kicked in,
You
they're having a
sold
great
this as a
time.
dice game? You're like, oh, let's just play a dice game.
Well, and like,
Oh.
I mean, it's super simple for anyone who hasn't ever done any sort of like Dungeons and Dragons. Like, it shows a character, whatever their level is, you have to roll that equal or higher.
Mhm.
Then there's buffs, debuffs, little traps that you can lay throughout. If you haven't seen it, I recommend every listener, if you guys are in front of your PC, have a look at it. It's pretty fun.
All right.
And like, you don't even have to make it alcoholic.
There you go. Awesome, Grim. Thanks for joining us on that and enlightening us to the new ventures of dice games.
Well, thanks very much for having me on, boys. Let's see what everyone else is up to.
Right on. So, man, I just love these. Like, let's play an innocent dice game. Here we go. That's right. Let's keep cruising, gentlemen. I've got a bunch more questions for you, and I know we're kind of in the thick of things. So let's get into what GW calls like their first part of their core hobby thing. So building. First thing, by a quick yes or no, do you like building in the hobby? Do you like putting together models? Matt, that's a yes for you.
Yes.
Okay. Logan?
Thumbs up all around.
100%.
Mark too. Love building.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm a bit. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I think it's
You
all
have
right.
to.
Okay. Yeah, it's building. So, what are you guys building right now? Logan, what are you building? What are you
Helldrake.
working on? Okay, you're building a Helldrake.
I am building a Helldrake.
Has anyone ever slapped Helldrake wings onto like a demon prince or anything like that and tried to make a mechanical demon? Are they the right scale? I've been eyeballing doing that for my
I mean,
Unbound.
Well, hang on.
I've
Actually,
s-
hang on. Let me mute
I've
my mic and I can grab
s-
the wings.
I've seen it done. That was like seventh, eighth edition back in the day. I did see somebody throw it on there.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like it would just be the perfect scale to get some
Okay,
fun.
That'd be
Like,
cool.
So
Okay.
here's the current Demon Prince wing size. And this is the
Yeah.
better one.
Yeah.
Here is the Helldrake's wing size.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's big.
Yeah.
So maybe if
Okay.
you don't use this one, if you just do the
Yeah.
first two and leave
Yeah.
the third one off,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be close.
You don't
in
want that
size.
line of sight, though. Yeah, trim those
Yeah.
down.
Well, actually,
No way.
that's actually really close. If you just cut out the big triangle, this
Yeah.
guy, then you're basically there. So
You're there.
Yeah.
could be done. It's just gonna be a little off.
I think it could look really cool on Bash Tour.
Oh, it looks sick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Matt, are you building anything right now? Anything that you're actually putting together?
I just finished priming it, so it's drying. But I got a Corvus Black Star.
Let's go.
Yeah, I've been looking at getting one of those when I started playing Grey Knights and whatnot. And I've always been eyeing it and just putting it off. And I actually got it this weekend. I was like, I don't want to say impulse buy because I thought about it. But I was like, yep, got that. And then also the Warhammer Plus mini, the Inquisitor, I think it's Orismund or whatever,
Such
that
a
came
cool
in.
model.
It's really good. So those are probably the two things, apart from some Trench Crusade models that I've got going. That's what I've been
Nice.
building.
Mark, you building anything?
Nothing for minis, unfortunately.
What are you
What?
building, like a shed or something?
He's building a podcast, sir.
He's building a fan base. Yes.
And succeeding.
Yeah.
No, out on the island, there's always something. Currently, we're just working on a scream room. So just building. There's always
What-
lumber. There's always fucking whatever, man.
What is a scream room?
No, screen.
Oh,
Screen room.
I thought
Just
this
my
was like,
scream room. Yeah, I just lots of times on the island, I just like to go there and yell
Just,
into this box.
all right, honey, I'm going to the scream room. Not a
Yeah.
great day.
It's a community one.
I
Just
I
it's
didn't
like
hear
your-
an M. I heard the N. So I thought, what do you mean? What is a screen room? Screen room. I can't talk. Have you ever seen a screen? Well, picture that around a room. Like I didn't know you thought
right.
it said scream.
I'm also a new parent, so that's been a fun little hobby that I picked
Right.
up. Very fun. And here's the nice thing too. While I'm putting a little bit of my hobbying on hold for a bit, I know there's gonna reach an age when my children are curious, and
Yes.
then we're back at it, boys.
That's right.
Yeah. So
That's rad. Very cool. As far as building for me, I'm building trenches for Trench Crusade. I'm building a nine piece. It's 9 squares, 16 inches each, and they're modular. So it's a Trench Crusade board. I'm building that, and I'm, I guess, technically building a Lord of the Rings army, even though it's like the minis are so bad. Like the old ones, it's like 2 pieces. You just like, all right, well, there's an arm and there's the rest of the fucking body. That's it. But put it in the stand and put it on the
Yeah.
base. So
what armies did you decide to go with?
So I've got 2 that I'm working on. I wanted a good and evil one. So my good one is going to be the 3 hunters. So it's Gimli, Aragorn, Legolas, and then it's all the ghost army. So it's the army of the dead.
Yes.
Which once we get into the painting stuff, I've got pictures of. But then the evil one is going to be the Minas Morgul. So it's the Witch King leading the Morannon and Mordor orcs. I forget what their other ones are called. It's the other orcs, and a troll. I have a Mordor troll. So yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that in Lord of the Rings where they like force you almost to get the good army and the evil army. Like, come on,
Yeah.
just get them both. Come on.
yeah. Come on.
We don't-
Because my wife likes to play games, I can usually get away with that. So if we get in Lord of the Rings, I'll get Agmar, then I'll give her Rohan or something, and then everyone
Nice.
will be happy.
There you go. That'd be cool. Well, painting. Let's move into some painting, guys. So, like, what are you painting up? I would venture that there's a lot of projects between all of us. So, Logan, we know that you've got. Wow, that is a purple Land Raider.
That is
That is
It is a-
gorgeous.
Tiger striped
Gorgeous.
purple Land Raider,
Oh, that's rad.
and it's a shiny metallic paint too.
I was gonna say that's a beautiful paint on there.
Yeah, it's actually, believe it or not, the same color as the Heldrake. Just
Oh, the
different
Heldrake looks a
priming.
little darker. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
But no,
a cool
yeah.
theme.
that's my current baby, because Emperor's Children gotta be gaudy. So
Yeah. Okay. Matt, what are you painting right now?
I just finished painting my first rhino ever for the Dark Angels.
That's a
So-
predator, my boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fucking.
I was
nice.
gonna be nice, but
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
rhino.
What did I say?
You
Oh, I said rhino, didn't I?
It's a rhino
What
did I
chassis.
say?
You leave that
What did
man
you say?
alone.
What did I
It's
say?
a
That's right.
rhino.
Yeah, no, predator. No, because I always had a bunch of rhinos and everything. So
I love the red tip on that. I always
Mhm.
love the red gun casings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then that I just said I'm about to start the Corvus Black Star, so that would be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool, dude.
That's a cool one. I've got some pics here that I'll put up, and this is some of the current paint projects that I've been working on. Let's throw in this one. So that's one of the ring wraiths that I've painted up for the start of my army.
Hot.
Very fun. Very fun. I'm painting it less grimdark. There's Gimli, so he's one of the 3 hunters that I'm working on. I actually got his eyes. You can't see it in this picture, but I got dots, baby. They're
I wanna see
on
it.
there.
I want to see a DM later, and then I'll confirm in the Discord
All
if you're lying
right.
or not.
All right.
Pixar didn't happen.
Yep, Pixar didn't happen.
I've got the last one I'll show on this is I've got Legolas that I'm working on because Aragorn's not quite yet done, but
These look great, dude.
thank you. I'm trying to paint, in a less grimdark style, go back to my original kind of like bright color vibe. Spaghetti Seth Court, we know that that's just box art with your desk slapped over the background. Yeah, these I just cut them out and then I just put them on little sticks and like, man, there it is,
Yeah.
guys. Well, I
He's like,
appreciate that.
He's like, they're gonna have cool
Pro
things to
painting.
show to paint. I don't have anything cool. I know a lie.
Yeah, that's right.
Court,
When
I
in
have a
doubt,
challenge for
lie
you.
it out. What do you got?
For the bow, for like Legolas's bow,
Yeah.
a bowstring.
Do it.
Oh yeah, you need it.
Do it.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
I was
I will
like, I'm
try.
like, he better say yes. He can't
I
say
will
no.
Yeah,
try.
you'll be a better man for it. You will
Yeah.
be.
I actually did enter a painting contest at Gamers Guild, so I'm painting up a like a loon boss on Cave Squig, and I'm going to paint the Cave Squig like an Uruk-hai, like Lurtz, so he'll have the white hand of Sauron
Ooh
on
yeah.
or of Saruman, sorry, the white hand of Saruman on there, and he's the loon boss is gonna be all rusted out and whatnot, and then the base of the rim around the base is gonna be the One Ring. I'm gonna paint that.
Oh, that'll
So,
be hot.
Fuck
yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Mark, painting anything or what? Come, let's get you some paint, man. Let's get you painting.
Yeah, the last thing I did paint was this Imperial Knight.
Holy shit, that looks great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do paint a little bit of stuff. Like I brought some of my leftover stuff down here. So every now and again I do get to paint the odd random one-off mini.
Since
But
he
it's
paints
pretty-
a little bit of stuff and it's a knight.
I know. Oh my gosh.
For audio listeners, Mark is
Yeah.
showing us some very gorgeous custom models, and Court's mouth is on the floor.
Yeah, this
Well,
guy.
I'm like, here's my little Nazgul and Gimli, and then I've got a tank. That's pretty sweet. Fuck yeah, that's sweet. And then Mark's like, oh, I just have a fucking knight that's basically
like-
pro painted.
No,
Jeez.
Just a little thing I'm painting.
Yeah,
He is
Yeah.
the Warhammer. So
he
No,
is.
no. There's a lot better painters than me, honestly. Painting, like we were talking about earlier, it's so much different than canvas painting. My wife likes to canvas paint, and
Mhm.
like occasionally I try to switch over to there. I'm like, what do I trace? You know, like
Where's my edge line? I don't know what to
Yeah.
do here.
Yeah.
exactly. So
Why isn't my wash working?
Yeah, why doesn't
this
my wash
weird?
work?
Fucking brutal. Yeah. Yeah, every now and again I do get up to a little bit of painting. But yeah, no, it's time to start that next like real project. So formalize it. Get ready.
Well, speaking of painting, do you guys airbrush at all? Who
Oh yeah,
airbrushes here?
baby.
Yeah. Oh shit! Look at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was complaining because I didn't have a good way to paint my metallics. So Jonesy and Colton were like, "Oh, you should totally get the Talon." So I bought it, and it not only is it well made. I'm gonna show for it now. Not only is it well made, but it's apparently Cerakoted. Like this white is a Cerakote.
What the
And
fuck
for those
is
who
that?
don't-
You say that as if we should know what that means.
So Cerakote is used for high heat things like firearms, car parts, stuff like that. Cerakote's really durable and really good for that. So this thing,
Because
is
if there's
just-
one thing that airbrushes do, they overheat.
yeah,
they
well,
get
you say
hot
that,
and
but it also makes it
hand
super
for
easy to wash. Like it's the easiest time
Okay.
I've ever had cleaning an airbrush over a naked metal one.
Okay, that makes sense. I love you.
Thank you, Seraphite. What would we do
Oh,
without you?
Matt's
Cerakote.
got his. All right, cool. Yeah, airbrushing, good. All right.
Yeah, never dabbled. Wish I could.
You
Court,
never
do
dabbled?
airbrush? No.
Yeah, I airbrush. I like airbrushing a lot. I just thought it looked stupid. I thought there's a style to airbrushing that if you do it just that way, I was like, I don't like it. But I find it to be a great tool. I think it's phenomenal. And I hated my first airbrush, but I love the second one I bought. I bought maybe I won't say the crappy one, but I went with, and what I like now is the Eclipse, the Iwata Eclipse. Love that airbrush.
Does it have?
It does not have Sarah coating.
Sarah coating.
No.
See, Matt knows what I'm talking about. Matt and I are
do.
based, and you two are cringe.
Oh my
That's what's
gosh.
happening.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's how
I
I
get
feel
that.
right now.
Ugh.
Fucking nerds.
Get that
Well,
multi-can Cerakote.
Look at him over there chugging his chocolate milk and talking about Cerakote.
what's the part of the hobby that you guys enjoy the most? Would you say painting? Would you say building? Would you say playing? Like
Playing.
Is it creating campaigns? Playing for you, Logan?
Playing.
Okay.
Campaign, competitive, all of it. I love playing. And that was when I was younger, that was my problem with a lot of other model building hobbies. It's like, cool, I built this. Now I want to play a game with it.
Yeah.
But there's no game to play with it. So it's just like it discouraged me from doing other models. And now that I have an outlet to play with things, I'm getting back into other models again. But I love playing the game.
Nice. Matt, what about you? What's your favorite part of the hobby?
I would have to say playing.
Yeah,
definitely playing, especially during the last 2 years I was in the military. We kind of group of friends came together. It almost became, I want to say, an Alcoholics Anonymous type thing. A lot of people were at the dregs of their careers, but because we all came together and we had a thing to look forward to every weekend, it just that camaraderie and got people into 40K. As I said, my buddy who ended up buying 3,000 points of it. Yeah, so I'd say the gaming, just every time I've always had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mark, what about you?
Yeah, if you can extend, okay, so you can bring people into your hobby and I could sit down and have people hobbying around a table with me, that's ideal. We're just shooting the shit, just making jokes or whatever. Yeah, for sure. Tabletop is fun. But also there's moments where it's just fucking annoying. So I'd rather be just, doing that hobby table for sure.
Nice. Yeah. I love playing. I really enjoy painting, to be honest. I was commission painting for a while and then it burned me out to the point where I still have stuff that I need to finish. Sorry, Joey. But yeah, I really enjoy the painting part. And I really, for a long time, I wasn't playing, I was hosting. And Logan, you know this. I for the longest time, for 2 years, I was not playing any 40K or AOS. I was hosting campaigns. I was writing campaigns. I was
Great
writing
campaigns.
I really appreciate that.
Great campaigns.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, it was. I literally wrote mechanics, certain new mechanics for Age of Sigmar and 40k stories and all that stuff. Built maps. So that's what I really enjoy, is like the creation part too.
And I gotta glaze you a little bit on that, because not only was it a fun narrative campaign, but those special rules he made. He, in the campaign for 40k, the Imperium players got together and we got to vote on whether or not we were going to exterminatus a planet. And at certain points, we had to vote if we were kicking people out of the Imperium for heresy.
Yeah.
So we had an entire system of government going on where we were making decisions. And we're like, hey, we want to blow up that planet. Is that cool? And he's like, why would you do that? And we're like, oh, the traitors are there, so this will take care of it. And he's just like, okay. It was just such a good time.
Yeah. Every
Not the best
army
plan, but it's a plan.
Yeah. Every army had their own once per campaign rule, and the Imperium was they got to vote on which planet of the map that I made gets exterminatus, but it had to be like a unanimous vote. So there was one guy, a good friend of ours, Griffin, who was kind of the outlier, and they basically like kicked him out. They excommunicated him from the Imperium, and he was considered heresy in the campaign, even though he was playing Custodes.
I love that you did this for us when we weren't doing this for audio listeners. He did air
Oh,
quotes.
I know. I was doing the air quotes.
Yeah.
Air quotes. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it was a good time. And then one other thing, because Mark brought this up, the hobbying aspect of it, like sitting around doing it with your friends. The other thing that I like second to playing is hobbying, but it's strategizing with friends. Like you know Marco's Court, like we'll just sit there and we'll go, hey, I'm thinking about running this. How would you counter it? How do you think LeBlanc is going to counter it? What do you think I'm going to struggle against if I have to fight Necrons? And we'll just sit there and talk for hours about strategy and how we can play better and make our lists better. Or we'll go the complete opposite, like, hey, how funny would it be if I do this? And then I will think of something ridiculous, like, I bet I can run nothing but plasma guns. Let's see how this goes. And then
check out my meme list. Yeah, that's cool. What about the hobby do you enjoy the least then? Like, what's something you're just like, ugh, this part, don't like it?
As weird as this sounds, I like painting individual models. I hate building and painting an army, but it's like it's a necessary evil. Like I like the way my stuff looks. I want my army to look the way it looks. But if I could spend like $20 more for a pre-built, pre-assembled, default colored model, like the GW standard paint scheme, I don't know that I wouldn't pick that every now and then. Just so like, oh, I want to play this, but I don't have time to paint it. Let's just get a stock painted one. You know what I mean?
Stock painted, sure.
Yeah, I understand. I think armies are tough to. It's a tough mountain to climb at times, and depends on the army too. Like I was like, all right, Necrons, this is gonna be fucking easy. This is great. Tyranids, this is gonna be fucking easy. This is great. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make it the most complicated scheme ever. Like I'm not just dry brushing
like,
lead belcher over black.
Like my sister's color scheme.
I love your sister's color scheme. It's so good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. 2 of them neon. And it's like, it's so cool though. But it's like when we were doing your slow grow and it was 2 weeks instead of a month, I was like, oh, I'm not getting all these painted in time. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think going for the army is a tough paint at times. And to piggyback on that, I've got a picture here that I'll post up, or Mark will rather, of my Necrons. This is one of my Chronomancers that I've painted up. But like, I was like, Necrons is easy. You coat them lead belcher and you do some oil wash, whatever it is, or you know what, you prime them black, you dry brush some gray or silver over it, and there you go. And then like this now, like I'm doing white, I'm doing a very dark gray, I'm doing like a brass color, but I'm all about the grimdark on this. So it's like all chipped and weathered. I even put, now don't tell anyone that they're Tau, but I put Tau decals on them, like markings, like ritual markings.
I'm telling Alex.
I know.
Yeah, I like that that grit on the brass on his like shoulders or whatever around. Yeah, that looks really good.
it's just like off white and then like chipped with Rhinox hide,
Yeah.
which is cool. So thank you.
Someone's been looking at
love
the
it.
old 40K artwork.
Yes.
Not Court. Court would never look at the old
What?
40K artwork.
No.
No. I love that. No.
All right, I just got a chronomancer, so I'm just going to copy your homework.
Okay. Okay.
Just change it a little.
Just
Use-
change it a little bit. Yeah.
Use orange instead of red. Like it's
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? What do you enjoy the least?
Painting.
Painting.
I let me caveat that. I enjoy painting, but it has the fastest burnout for me. Like I could be painting like an hour in, and also I'm like, why am I doing this? But yeah, it'd just be pain for me. It definitely has the fastest paint out, and I think it's because I'm kind of sometimes I want to just speed paint through a whole army, but then as I keep getting through each mini, I'm like, oh, I want to do this detail, I want to do this detail, and I just keep piling more and more and more.
Yeah.
And then one model looks great. I want to make them all look that way, and lo and behold, it just sucks. And I'm like, oh, I'm only 5 models into my 50 model army, and it sucks.
Yeah, and the edition's almost over now. Fuck, and then they're gonna change it.
And these guys just got put to legacy, so I can't even fucking play them. We're legends. Yeah.
That's my Death Guard army right there.
Yeah.
Womp
Rest
womp.
in peace. Mark, what about you?
The way I did that to get rid of the burnout part was I'll paint it to be battle ready, and then when I'm feeling up to it, I'll go back and add all the small details to make it look pretty.
Okay. Mark, what's your least favorite?
Yeah, painting can be a bummer, but also like it's one of those things where once you start painting, you really start enjoying it. But it's just like sitting down and doing it could be kind of a chore, you know. But you'll enjoy it when you do it. The biggest piss off, I think, of all hobbying though is edition changes. Honestly, it's when your army that you put so much time into, you know, they change it on you and now you can't fucking use it anymore. That is a piss off, because we're talking about how we might not like painting the most, and then all of a sudden you can't use it. Nothing's worse, man. Nothing's fucking worse.
That is rough. That's a gut punch.
I quit playing X-Wing because of that.
I think a lot of people quit playing X-Wing because of that.
Well, like from 1 to 2, I had to either rebuy everything or spend the equivalent money to rebuy everything to play with what I had, and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not playing this game anymore.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking this weekend about getting more X-Wing stuff and just like playing it as it is. Like there it is. Just first edition.
Yeah, it's kind of why like every edition I have multiple armies, because it's like, fuck, do I keep adding to the same one or just do 4 new ones? Like fuck it. Like you have to buy new stuff anyways. Might as well buy new armies.
Yeah. Well, let's queue up a call-in for this section. I'd love to know what the best and worst part of hobbying is with some of you guys. So we'll bring someone on.
Okay, I think let's go. The nut shirtless Obama. If you're ready, Boba Jack. He's scrambling with paintbrushes right now. It's funny to watch. Under pressure.
That's right, listeners. For $5 a month, Mark can watch you while we podcast.
Yes, and
listen.
I love the name.
Listen. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Oh, do you want to know why the name is what it is?
Sure.
Your picture's not there anymore.
No, what? Oh, that's so sad. It used to be
so
Shirtless
sad.
Obama.
It used to be. And now you're just nothing.
I'm trying to paint these deathcore guys, and I'm not too good with the tiny. It's killing me.
What's your favorite and least favorite part of the hobby?
So far, least favorite part of the hobby is painting.
Yeah.
I like building a lot.
Okay.
I think we all just need to go play with Lego. Ultimately, like, what are we doing with 40K?
Hey,
I
have a rule set. We can play Lego 40K.
That's right.
There we go.
We can do this.
I've seen some of those Lego 40K conversions or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really like I'm not a color mixer or nothing.
Me neither.
Yeah, so I don't
No,
know.
me
how
Are you
to-
a paint eater? Because you kind of sound like it.
I've been consuming a lot of paint so far,
Yeah. Good.
wild quantities. I
You're
made
doing it
his
right.
boots black.
There we
Nice.
go.
Oh, you're
There you go.
working as you're listening. I love this. You're hobbying
Yeah.
with us in the hobby
I
hangout.
was told to. I thought it was like
Sweet.
part of the rules.
What's
Yeah.
your most favorite part then of the hobby?
Building.
It is building.
Just
Yeah, that's
building.
right.
Yeah, I love it.
What-
I have my hold on. I got my shadow sword.
Oh,
Oh.
sick.
Wait, why do I have a stop sign in the background? Crime. I have several things that I stole. There's a shopping cart somewhere. There's a traffic cone over there.
Lorehammer Legal cannot be involved in this.
Crime is
Watch
badass.
our-
Hey guys, I disconnected and came back. Where are we at right now?
We're at the fun part where we steal steins from the government.
Oh,
I pay my taxes. They belong to me.
There you go.
That's your side.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
So they're just while I'm here painting, how do I make it so that way the paint isn't wet?
What does that mean?
It's so wet. It's just it doesn't paint good. I mix
Okay.
them together. They taste bad.
Mhm. I
Are
got
you
this.
using a
I got
wash?
this.
What's a wash?
But you put
Hell
your dirty
yeah.
clothes in, and then they
Court,
get in
this
a
is all you,
cycle.
dude.
All right.
It's all you.
If you, okay, so either whether this is a joke or not, like if you're struggling with
I legitimately have no idea what a wash is.
if you're okay, so let's start with this. Thinning your paints is one thing, which Logan never did in his early stages of painting. Apparently, he just glopped it on.
Is that not what
Instructions
we're
were
supposed to
unclear.
be doing?
So
It said 3 colors. I made it 3 colors.
thin your paints with a little bit of water. What I like to do is I use a wet palette, and this is kind of getting into our next section. So, not shirtless Obama, hang with us here. Be with us on this. So, I like to use a wet palette. So, it's literally just like a foam sheet and then like a baking sheet over that, but the foam sheet is soaked in water. And you can get them for like $20 on Amazon, and it's great. But if you don't use that, that's totally fine. So what you could do is make sure you're not getting paint from the pot. What I would do is if you have just like a plastic plate or something, take a crap brush that you don't give a shit about. Boom. Oh, that's even better. It has to have a mermaid on it. So you're already ahead of the game. Perfect. Take your crappy brush. If it's one of the Citadel paint pots, you pop it open, grab the crappy brush, dip it in there, and take some of it out. Now make sure you're shaking the fuck out of that bottle. If you've got like a BB or some piece of plastic you can pop in there and shake up to agitate it, that's way better.
I'm supposed to shake them?
Shake the paint, baby.
Oh man, I've been just not doing things.
Shake the paint. Shake.
I
Got to
suggest go watch some YouTube videos, my friend.
No, I gotta raw dog it.
okay. No, I like your approach. You
Gotta
won me
learn.
over. Yeah.
But thin
I
your
gotta
paint.
hate
So
it because I gotta throw
pop them
myself
on the plate, and then use your good brush that you're going to go with. And you can either mix it with the shit brush with a little bit of water, but what I like to do is just swirl it around in the water, your good brush, and then kind of almost streak it out like you're mixing in a little bit of water with the edge of that paint blob. Streak it out, and you want to test on your like fingernail or something. Like I've actually still got a little bit of paint on my nail, and make sure that it's not dripping, and make sure it's not clumpy when you pull it. So you want it to be like a really nice coat, and then as was it Duncan Rhodes says, 2 thin coats. Is that the dude?
2 thin coats. That's his academy
So-
now.
2 thin
Should
coats.
should I start with a bigger model or a smaller model? I'm like trying to figure this shit out because I
I'd say
clearly
bigger.
I have no idea.
I would say
Oh, okay.
like Terminator Space Marines are really good for that.
Hmm.
I think they're pretty good size. Like you don't want something too small. Like something big like that is going to be a little bit harder too because you've got a lot of surface area. But
I would
Godspeed
say
to you, sir.
since you're playing Deathcore, models along your line, Ogryns, because they're larger, you have large surface areas. It's a good blend of detail and simple, so you can get a real hands-on feel for the different textures that you're painting on. And then another painting technique, I advise with caution. It works better with larger models that you're painting. A blow dryer, low heat.
Yep.
That helps as well because it'll help dry it. The reason with the caution though is if you dry the paint too quickly, it can crack.
Yep.
I've been called the blow dryer, so I think I could do it.
If you have an airbrush too, you can just shoot air out of your airbrush and not pull back and get paint. You can just do that.
Sir, I steal stop signs. What makes you think I own an airbrush?
He has an airbrush, but he doesn't own one.
Right.
Oh my god, I could just steal one. Okay,
Do
thank
it.
you, Mark.
Man.
You got me to figure this out. Crime always pays.
One thing.
Do I paint the bottom?
Yeah, fuck it.
If
Why
you
not?
want.
Yes.
But
Actually,
put
the
something
bottom-
funny on the bottom. Paint something funny on the bottom.
I was going to say
Oh.
the bottom is a good spot after you prime it to practice your brush strokes and see how the paint.
Oh shit! See, there we go. Hydra thoughts with a good idea. Except he doesn't know about any dinosaurs. Apparently,
Oh, you're still mad about that?
yes.
Oh,
Assault
man.
is real. I'm sorry. It had Saurus in its name. No, it has Sora in its name.
Well,
You're right.
So speaking of practice, and I'll just kind of end on this
Yeah,
part,
yeah.
is like any other bits that you have, like any other arms or pauldrons that like just didn't get put on your guys, prime those and practice on those. Like just
how
practice
do
your
you-
painting.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, do I need to get primer? Like actual primer?
Oh God, yes.
Oh.
Somebody send this man some worksheets.
That
We're
might
good
be
at
why your
painting.
paints are super watery. You're trying to put
That'll-
layers on raw
That'll
plastic.
do it. Because I've been doing the like washing thing just like absentmindedly. I have this other plate that I've been doing that on.
Yeah. So prime your minis because
Primer.
otherwise the paint will not adhere very well.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
There we go. Yeah.
So you
Well,
have to prime things.
prime it. Yeah.
Who would have known?
Well, if your local hobby store is treating you right, they should have told you.
He's not. He's getting married and taking time off to get married. Like,
Oh, what a loser!
Selfish.
Oh man.
yeah, don't even get me started on him.
You're out
And also,
here
he
not even
takes extended
priming and
lunches.
raw dogging.
Based.
He fucking.
Give
I
me-
sit
give
there and
me
I
example.
wait, and some old fucking lady comes up to me and she's like, "It's closed." Like, I know, bitch, but it says it's not. Sorry, I'm really angry about this. She like literally walked up to me as I'm like sitting there reading the like sign to make sure it's like I'm there, right?
Yeah.
It's closed. I'm like, really?
Well, we're not
The-
inside.
The locked door with the lights off is closed. So I don't need to be sassed.
It's fine. Hey, just go eat some more paint, okay, buddy? You'll make it through the
It'll
night. You'll
make
be
me
Yeah.
feel
fine.
better.
We got
It'll
you.
make me feel better.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. There you
Chug
go.
shots of paint. All right. Well, that was a call in.
Yes,
Kobe
you're
Jack.
welcome.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Lovely.
Adios.
Shirtless Obama out.
Boom. Oh my gosh. That was great. I love that like I went through this like long detail and I don't know if he's kidding or not, but like, I went through this like, okay, thin your paints, you do this, and then at the end he's like, wait, should I prime my models?
Well,
Like,
when
oh,
he
that was
flipped it over,
wasted.
I'm like, why is it gray on the bottom? Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
remember.
Somebody
Oh,
in the
man.
Discord, send him some messages. Help him out. Help that man. He needs help.
Help him.
We as a community, and I'm looking right at my camera for audio listeners. We as a community need to come together
Yeah.
and help that man paint
Yeah.
and quit stealing from the government.
But
Yeah.
this is as far as the four of us are gonna take it.
True.
At this point, we wash our hands of the matter and leave it to the people.
That's right. The people. I've got three last things for you guys that I want to just kind of bring up. And we're on the topic of painting. So do you guys have a decent paint setup at your place? Like, do you guys have like a little paint station? Like, what's going on? Do you have a little corner? Or are you just kind of sitting on the couch painting? Like, how do you guys prefer?
Like this.
So
Hang on. Oh, my
Right
brush.
where
I
you're
cleaned
at.
my brushes.
Classic triangle pose.
But like this, I just sit here and
okay, I mean, like, do you have like a specific like desk for it?
yes, you
Anything?
are looking at it. I sit right here.
Okay.
Just do this. I have two pots at a time on my desk because I don't have room for it anywhere else. I do those 2 colors and then I put them away and get a new color.
Well, this is. Let me throw up here my picture, Mark, if you can, because this might make Logan scream with the disorganization that I have.
My brother
my
in
area.
Christ. There is so much stuff on my desk right now. I can't even say some of what's on my desk on YouTube, but there is so much crap on my desk right
That's
now.
Yeah,
Looks
this is the paint
awesome.
setup I have. That's not one paint and then put it back. It is. Let's bring all the paints that we need for this.
I don't
Maybe
think
this entire thing, and bring them all on the table, and then we'll put them back on the rack that we have.
I don't think you understand what I mean. There's just no room for stuff. Like, look, this is
Okay.
on my desk.
Yeah.
This is on my desk. Here's one of my paint things. Here's a tool. Like, my desk is just full of crap because my real desk is in storage. So it's like, ugh.
Get a drawer, man.
They're full of other hobby stuff. Your solutions don't work, sir.
Put stuff in a closet.
Build
I'm
a
in a
string
closet.
bed.
He is the closet.
Yes, the closet. We as a community need to come together and help this man put his stuff away.
We got a lot of work
just
ahead
wait
of
till we
us.
get to me.
You want to come help renovate my upstairs? Because that's where we're at right now.
No, it's hot and I don't want to do that.
There's an air conditioner up there.
No, thanks. Pass.
I can get it down to 68 degrees in that room. So
All right, then I'm in. All right, Matt, what about you? What's your painting setup look like?
Yeah, that's what my paints look like
That's
in
a
the other
box
room.
of paint. That's literally a
That
box
is my
of paint.
that is my painting setup. Like, I think that's the funniest part because I can
Dude,
do
Matt
some
and I
half
are-
decent models.
Matt and I are
But-
going to be besties after this.
I know. It's a bad
We're
idea
just-
to bring you
we're
on.
just- we're just aligned on everything.
Just a menace.
Uh,
I mean, I've had
true.
to because I think the craziest thing I was doing was I actually painted some minis out when I was out in the field doing an army exercise.
Mhm.
So that box just pulled it out of my rucksack and just started going in a little bit of downtime. So yeah,
Let's go.
I love you guys so much. Mark, any sort of plans on putting like a paint station together for you?
You
You're
are
muted,
muted,
bud.
sir.
Dumb bitch. Yeah, I
There we
got
go.
the spot for it. It just has to happen. One of those things. It'll happen when I get the minis. Panama.
I'm sorry, it was just so good. You were muted talking after bitch.
Bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Panama's been hard for my hobbying.
Yeah.
But that's the way shit goes.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
yeah, that's tough. What about secret recipes, guys? And this might be our last call-in section here, and we'll get somebody quite reputable here. So we'll bring somebody on in a moment. But secret hobbies, sorry, not secret hobbies. I don't want to know about that shit. Don't tell me your secret hobbies.
too
I
late.
don't want to know.
I also
Um,
collect teeth.
Secret recipes in the hobby. So do you guys have I hit my mic? Do you guys have any like modeling tips, some painting, like juju that you're like, this is the paint, this is the best paint, I love this paint? Like Logan, why don't you kick us off? Some like little tips and tricks.
I have one,
Okay.
and it's if you're going to paint white, buy an airbrush.
Yes.
Because this is how I paint all my whites.
Oh yeah.
And audio listeners can't see it, but it is glowing bright against my black because it is flawless. And that's because I only airbrush whites. I cannot get it to do it with a normal brush. So whatever it is, if it's white, it's getting airbrushed. End of discussion.
Amen.
Yeah, that's a good move.
The bummer about that though is white is still notoriously tough to push through an airbrush at times, and especially in Arizona where it's just dry and there's no humidity, you get tip dry.
I didn't really run into that.
I knew Mark was gonna laugh at that. You get a
Degenerate.
dry tip, you're gonna have a bad time.
Gonna have a bad time. No, I use the Monument Hobby white. For
Oh,
that.
bold titanium white from
Oh,
Monument
dude.
is fucking awesome.
Beautiful local
So
company,
good.
so shout them out. But
Yep.
in my apartment, I never really had that problem.
I shouldn't have said tip dry, and now it's just the chain reaction.
Yeah, if for $5 a month, you can watch the chat continue to spam that meme because it's really funny.
Yeah. So good call. Bold titanium white through an airbrush, Logan. Fantastic. Mark, what about you? Any hobby tips that you find to be gems?
I like that one about the white. I would always prime white for my white armies. But if you got a white spray paint, then you don't got to worry about such problems. But that was my tip.
Yeah, cool. Matt, what about you?
I got 3. The first one's in the building process, especially when you're getting into vehicles and some of the older models, the plastic will warp. So what I'll do is, say you're gluing the hull of the Rhino together, everybody has it where it doesn't properly line up. Apply your plastic glue and have a pot of boiling water, dunk it, pull it out, shape it, and then once it's got to the shape you want, dunk it in cold water. And it will hold it.
I like that.
Yeah, it works. Even more so with your resin, because especially Games Workshop resin is notorious for warping. And when you do with the cold water, it like flash cools it and it'll pull rigidity about that. Another tip that I have is when you're painting like scrolls and whatnot, what I found is just using a fine tip pen with the ink and just doing little scribbles. I find that a lot easier than having to go back and forth, because I always found that with my tiny brushes, they would always dry out before I could finish. So there's that. And then for more so the new hobbyists, what I would do is, like, if you have your generic hobby store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, the paint's there. You can get a lot more paint for a lot less. So, and it's more forgiving as far as when you want to try practicing mixing or thinning out your paints. So you don't feel like you're wasting a lot of paint. Yeah. So that's what I would use for a long time.
Nice. Yeah, these are very helpful. I like it. The warping one is a good one because that's tough, man. A lot of times you spend a lot of money on, especially on a fucking Forge World model, and you're like, great, this thing is warped. I can't even put this together. So that's a good call. If I was gonna throw some of my secret recipes in here, I actually have it in front of me. So as far as glue goes, this Tamiya extra thin cement is my favorite glue. And yes, this is a big shout out to and I'm trying not to get emotional, one of my best friends that we lost last year, Andrew turned me on to this stuff, and this has changed building for me to where I enjoy building now a decent amount because of this glue. It's so good. It'll melt plastic together. You can't use it on resin, but it's very good. So the Tamiya extra thin cement. Yeah. I love that you held yours up, Logan, for sure.
Yeah. It's a lot more fun to use too, because I'm going to open it up a little bit. Instead of the normal dippers or droppers that you drip the glue on, this is very much a true water-like liquid, and it's applied with a brush. So you can just brush it onto whatever you want to.
Like you're painting your nails.
Yeah, exactly. And if you need something bigger, then you can dip it in and get a big dollop on you there and just touch it to the thing, and it streaks across wherever you need it to do. It's made life so easy.
What's great too, just on that, what's great too about that glue is I love, and I discovered it with my Tyranids, is you can hold two pieces together and then take that applicator that you showed, Logan, and just slide it down the seam while still holding them together. And there's enough like surface tension to like slide it through that seam and melt them together. So you literally don't have to take two pieces, paint one side or brush one side of the glue on or put a dollop on and then form it together and then hope that it doesn't sandwich out and get like that kind of paint that squeezes out of the two pieces. This, you hold them together and then put it in the crevices and boom, you are done. It's phenomenal.
What along that line, what I did with the new Demon Prince, because it's a really hard model to assemble, I would hold it together like you said, but then I went inside the model and I ran it along the inside of it. So it seeped in there and it never got outside of it. So I didn't have any weird glue streaks or anything to worry about, and it welded it together.
Yeah. And with that stuff, what's great too is when you like take the flash off of a model or mold lines and stuff, even if there's still just a little bit left or something, you can use it to melt that excess off.
Yeah.
Like you can use it to smooth some of your scrapings off when you use your X-Acto knife. It's good stuff.
Definitely.
I even have I literally have an old, this is one of my first, maybe one of my last rather, from Game Depot back in high school, my game store of choice. But this is like one of my old super glue bottles, and it has like the local Game Depot on the front of it. And you can hear that's dried super glue in there from 20 years ago. I still have it. I love it.
That's insane.
Yeah, I happened to find it one day, like in all my old hobby stuff, and I was like, "We're keeping this. This just sits right on the front of my little hobby station as like a little reminder." Yeah. But secret sauce. I want to show this. This changed painting for me. AK Interactive's Streaking Grime. I love this stuff. This is an enamel wash, so it is oil based, and I love painting like the grimdark style, which is like all the new rage-ish kind of thing now, but base coating everything, and then it kind of looks all boring. Like there's no highlights, there's no shadows, anything. But then if I want to, I will gloss varnish the model, let it dry, and then I'll dump this shit on. I'll literally shake this up as much as I can and pop a crappy brush in here and slather the model to where it looks like you're ruining it, and then let that dry or heat dry it, and then take mineral spirits and a Q-tip and then remove all that except for whatever sits in the crevices, and it looks so good. I love it. I do it on my Necrons. It's great. And
So good, so easy.
It's so easy. Like I can paint things and make them look like, well, that kind of looks basic and crappy. And then I do that and they look so good. It's almost like cheating because it'll get you some shadows. It'll darken things up a little bit where like corners will still kind of highlight and pop like you've highlighted something. It's awesome. And then Villainy Ink does the same thing with their Goons Grime and their ink stuff, but it's really changed a lot for me. And you guys can find countless tutorials online, like from the Grimdark Compendium, but that is my secret sauce and I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. Well, can we do like one last call in just to bring somebody in for some hobby tips and tricks?
Yeah, we got Spaghetti Seth. I think we'll let
in
here.
He's been wanting on.
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
Hello. I am Seth, Spaghetti Seth, or also known as that one time on the Discord, the Asian kid. Backstory. Hi, hello. I got into Lorehammer got me into Warhammer. I'd say roughly a little bit over a year ago.
Wow.
I was into D&D like 7th grade, and I thought I was really into D&D all of 7th grade, and I thought, wow, D&D is fun, but I like models. I like having something physical that I can, paint and customize. And so I got into Warhammer. I thought, this podcast. I thought, the lore can't be it must be similar to D&D, right? I was wrong. I was so wrong. And then I don't remember exactly when I started listening to Warhammer, but I just kept pushing my way through the episodes, and then around March of 2024, I scrounged up enough money, bought myself the 3 Infernus Marine starter pack. Bada bing, bada boom. I had 3 really ugly Ultramarines with way too much white and red on them. And then I was like, this hobby's pretty cool. I like the lore. I like the models. I can't wait to expand on it. And then I opened up Warhammer.com, saw the prices, and face just dropped.
Come on, you're old enough for a job. Get a job, you bum.
That's great. No, unfortunately. Apparently not. No business wanted a 14-year-old to
Come on,
get a job.
flip some burgers, shovel some sidewalks.
The children yearn for the mines.
I would have done it. I would have fully done it. So I got the Infernus Marines, and then I was like, wow, I really like Warhammer. It was just all I got into. I bought Eisenhorn. I started reading Dune which is kind of related, and I
Yeah.
got to talk about the comparisons between Warhammer and Dune. I dragged some other friends kicking, screaming, and flailing into the hobby in that time.
That's what
And then around the end of middle school, like 8th grade, a friend of mine at the local game shop that I go to was like, hey, I'm buying a bunch of Tyranids so I can paint them up and sell them. I don't play Space Marines. You want these? And I was like, for free? Are you serious? And I got like 900 points of Space Marines. And Jack,
I like that you think that's how you sound. That's fun to me.
Back when I was a little youngin'. I know my voice sounds way squeakier on audio than it actually does, so I know that must just be nigh unintelligible. Your dogs are barking so high pitched.
Yeah, and I sound like a retard, but in real life, I don't. It's the weirdest.
No one
thing.
likes
Every
their
time you
recorded
record
voice.
So
it-
weird.
So,
Jack,
Steph,
sorry.
let me just ask you. Yeah, like what is you're kind of a new hobby guy then. So like what's your favorite part of the hobby? What do you enjoy
My
the
favorite
most?
part of the hobby? I can't say I enjoy the competitive aspect of it. I bought
I'm with you.
my
I'm with you on
900
that.
points of Space Marines. My first match, I got paired up against the store and regional manager playing Blood Angels.
Ooh.
And from this day on, I have traumatic flashbacks whenever somebody says the word deep strike around me.
Yeah.
First, I was at peace on the other side of the board. And next thing I knew, the sanguine one, like the entire army of Blood Angels were raining down on top of me.
Yeah, St. Peace Hammer, but yep.
As it should be.
But now, I remember I saved up enough money to buy a combat patrol, and I finally realized, hey, I think I need primer because, Jack, I'm with you, buddy. I painted 900 points of Space Marines and no primer.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I was going to buy World Eaters because they had a great combat patrol and they look nice. The combat patrol's functional. They look really cool. And then at the last possible moment, I DM'd my local game store manager and said, I know you ordered the World Eater combat patrol. Can I change it to dwarves?
Let's go.
Hence, Space Dwarves Leagues of Votan. I've got 1,000 points. My current project right now is a Hecaton land fortress. I got here a Sagittar in yellow and black of the Cronus hegemony. I got myself some Brock here Thunderkin and a Hearthguard Thane.
Those look good, man.
Thank
They
you.
do.
There was a period where for some reason the only paints I owned were yellow, black, gold, silver, and light blue. Hence why my homebrew Space Marine chapter, the Hammers of Dorn, are the exact same color as my Cronus hegemony.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lorehammer always really got me into the narrative aspect. I loved their cold open stories crossover, and from then on, like, you guys really got me into writing. Like, I have so many homebrew everything. I bought the line recently because I'm gonna kip actually the second Legion Primarch. I wrote up this whole lore thing about how it wouldn't break the canon. It's on homebrew lore in the Discord.
Sweet.
I think it probably does break the canon. I bet you.
You should check it. You should check it out.
I'm gonna check it out.
I did all the scouring I could. I can give the message link in the general chat. I like to think that I made something that doesn't seem super Mary Sue. I have tons of homebrew Space Marines. Yes, Primaris. I know Primaris bad and all of that, but Primaris was kind of what ended up getting me to the game.
Cool.
Although Space Marines, I'm not the biggest fan of nowadays because I got my dwarves. Rock and stone.
Mark muted himself when you said Primaris to keep himself from screaming.
I know. I saw that.
He had hate in his heart, and he's like, I gotta mute.
Why do you do this? Why do you do this to the youngins?
Seth, thank you.
Sorry. Before I leave, I've got a question.
Sure.
I got this Citadel Finecast Corsair Con. Nice model, 5th edition. That was before I was born, old people.
Jeez.
How do I paint this? I know you're supposed to wash it under warm water. Is that right? And I heard Tamiya doesn't work on it.
Yeah, you'll have to wash it before you paint it because like resin, they use oil to like split the molder apart. So you gotta definitely wash it in warm soapy water.
You
Now
could
it
do-
now here's the thing, that's probably fine cast though, and fine cast and resin are slightly
Right,
like
it's-
there's like Forge World, you really have to do it under that soapy
It says
water.
Citadel Finecast. That might be mirrored for. I know it's mirrored for me, but it says Citadel
Yeah.
Finecast at the bottom.
It should be fine.
Yeah, so the
So-
fine cast you don't have to wash. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
The only thing you'll have to deal with is I kind of touched base with it a little bit earlier is warping, especially fine cast is notorious where if it's supposed to be straight, no, it's bent. So you don't necessarily have to use boiling water, but like just some hot water from under the sink. Let that soak for about a couple of seconds and just slowly just hold it straight as it cools. That's like the only big thing with fine cast.
But before
And
you do
just-
that, because Matt is absolutely right, dry fit everything. First, see if it needs to be bent. So, like if you've got an arm that should go on the shoulder area and it's rocky and it's not flat, that's when you do what Matt's saying. Or if you have something that's like obviously like if there's a banner and the banner pole's supposed to be straight and it's quite bent, do the tip Matt's saying. If you don't need to, don't.
And does GW Primer work on Citadel
Yes.
Finecast?
Yes.
Okay, good, because
Yes, it
I got
does.
some Chaos Legion black.
Yeah. Good question.
One more thing to add with like gluing, sometimes the pieces they could be fine, they just don't fit tightly enough, and super glue doesn't always work. So a good tip, there's YouTube videos that can go like give you a visual for it, is a little bit of baking soda with super glue in between there will help it as well.
Mhm.
I'm not listening to you. That sounds like it's going to make my miniature explode in my hands or something. Oh,
No.
boy, can't wait to paint this.
It forms a very tight bond, and it's something you can even use to fill gaps. So that's a good call.
Interesting.
All
Never
right,
heard of
yeah,
that
totally
before.
do
Cool.
that. All right, thank you. See you.
Yeah.
See you for
Thanks, Zach.
days.
Right on. Cool.
Cool. Yeah,
Well,
that's a nice little tip, that thing, for sure.
very helpful. Yeah, it's I've never done it I've done it for fill-in stuff, and it's good. So the last thing then, because I know we've kind of run long on this, but I just want to ask you guys, because it's kind of the last part of the hobby. And we had a bunch of questions that we missed. So maybe we'll do a part 2 at some point. Just because I think this ran long, but we'll do like a hobby hang part 2 at some point. So if you guys like this, dig it. How do you store your minis? What is your preferred way to store your minis, whether you're like bringing them to the game store and you need to like carry them in a tray or something, or are you like putting them away in collectible cabinets? Like, what is the way that you guys prefer to keep your minis safe? Matt, let's start with you.
Throw them in the corner and let them rot. No, I take the time and I just go the standard route with the foam carrying cases. That's kind of my go-to. Before that, when I was pour hammering, I'd keep my old like vehicle boxes and put them in. If it was like a really nice HQ, I would just lightly wrap it in a paper towel, put it in there, and then packing peanuts, just have it set up there. But now I have upgraded and I use carrying cases.
Cool. Nice. Logan, what about you?
So I specifically use the A-case hybrid messenger case they have. And what it is it's a steel frame with steel shelves that slide in and out. You could buy more shelves so you could store them on, but I put magnets on the bottom of all my minis and they sit on that. The frame keeps it safe. The magnets are strong enough they don't really slide. And then the bag itself is nylon that kind of goes around, and it has a pouch on the back that I stick cards, tape measure, accessories in there, and then it has a strap, so I just put it over my shoulder and carry it in and out. And it's really big. Like I brought to that one event, I had 1,500 of Raven Guard and 1,500 of Sisters in the same case, and there was still room for more, so it's huge.
Mark, what about you?
The magnets are sweet. I do the magnets as well. I just got like a toolbox from your hardware store, and you can just magnet to that. But the one thing I want to submit is called, we've all heard of the Bits box, but I like the Bits sack, where you got a sack, you got a bed sheet, and you toss all your bits onto it. And then when you need them, You can just drop it on the floor, unfurl the sheet, and when you need to clean it up, you can just pick up all the corners, pick up all your bits, and away you go. Because I'm talking like when I moved to Panama, and I kid you not, I brought down 80 pounds of unsprued bits. And
Whoa.
Let's go.
it was the funniest fucking thing going through security, and the guy opens up this, like, all I brought was bits with me, man. It was so fucking crazy. He just looked at it like, what the fuck is this? Well, this is my bit sack. I just put my bag of bits in the suitcase. Like, what do you want?
I like it. Did you just explain it that way? Like, dude, it's a bit sack. Duh.
Yeah, but in Espanol, you know.
Oh, okay.
Amigo, hello, bitso sacco. Come on.
Yeah. Nice. I've gone through the foam thing. That was first for me because I had like the old school. It had the Aquila on there, the Games Workshop black case. I loved those back in the day, man. So good. It had the bright red foam in there, but you had to like
big.
Oh my gosh! And if you had if you had any sort of like tank or whatnot, you had to cut layers of it in the foam to let it sit. So I loved those, but I went from that to what is it, like Army Transport? I forget what it is. It's more foam and whatnot, but it's like in a soft case. Those were great, but and I'll be honest, like, and this is just a personal opinion, hot take. I personally don't like foam because I've had bad experiences with it removing paint and like spiky bits getting stuck to stuff and it being hard to remove models out of. That's me.
Preach, brother.
So I'm a magnet boy. I fucking love magnets. Like I first started doing magnetizing with, you can do an IKEA hack, and this thing is like a paper tray unit. It's called Kvissel, Kvissle from IKEA. And it's a paper tray shelving thing that comes out. And if you flip it upside down, because there's like a cork board on one side, if you flip it upside down, it's like galvanized, so you can magnetize to it and you store your minis in that. But I love doing like I think it's called Jukosi or Jukaki. You can get them on Amazon. It's JUCOCI, and they make my wet palette, and they make cases that I've bought. So you guys have seen, like, I've got the plastic case that pops out and has the trays, the metal trays. That's how I prefer to store stuff, like magnetizing. So I'm a big magnet on metal guy because nothing's touching the mini except for the base. However, I fucking hate gluing magnets to bases. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. And half the time, like, okay, that's great, good. And then I let it dry and I put it on the thing and then I pull it off and the magnet has still stuck to the base or not. It's like stuck to the plate. Gosh damn it.
Well, maybe now with the baking soda trick, it'll.
Yeah, the baking soda trick, that would probably work better. So, yeah, I'm a magnet guy. That's me. So,
always have
everywhere
been.
Court goes,
always have been, always will be.
You are pretty magnetic with your personality. You just draw people in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm glad I could. It's the Riz, baby.
You're running a Courthammer episode. You brought 2 of your friends onto it, so
I know
the charm is there.
The charm
quite
is there.
A hostile takeover, but definitely a takeover.
We're getting there, baby.
We can make it hostile.
Yeah.
Court's going to be the Horus of the
says the military guy. Wait, what?
You keep taking things over, bro.
I know.
You're going to be the Horus.
I did get Horus Lupercal in that personality quiz of which Primarch are you, which is not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
No.
Yeah, Jack, we're all friends here, but Mark brought Court and Court brought us. That's why I said he brought 2 friends.
Yeah,
because Mark brought Court, so there's 1.
Yeah.
So we're all friends here, but Court brought 2.
We're friends.
Get in there.
3 of us are friends here.
Won't tell you which 3.
I'm just a guy.
Well, I want to thank you guys for. It feels weird saying joining me on this. Like I'm here because of Mark. So Mark, thank you for letting us be part of this. Thank you for letting me take the reins a little bit and do a fun hobby hangout episode. And we've got more bonus episodes coming, guys. Like Mark and I are cooking up some fun ideas, and and we'll bring some fun guests on and chat some more aspects of Lorehammer, Warhammer, games, hobby, all that stuff. So we've got stuff coming your way. But thank you, Mark, for letting us be part of this.
Yeah, well, thank you for setting this episode up. Honestly, it was nice to not have to do another 20 pages of writing for notes.
Sure.
And it was a lot of fun, man. I do miss, I don't miss Canada at all, but I definitely miss hobbying with the boys and playing. And this was a nice little dive back into it. So thank you so much. And thanks for all the listeners. We'll do some quick end of the show shout outs and then we'll take off here. If you want to come listen to more lore, come check out Lorehammer Listen to Lore podcast. If you got homebrew lore like little Seth has there, send it in. I'll read it off. It's a good time.
Yeah. I'm going to give up my shout out section and give it to Logan here for Hydra Thoughts, because I personally am a subscriber to his YouTube channel, Hydra Thoughts. And I fucking love these videos. I get to listen to him at work and I get to watch his beautiful face in that little closet talk about cryptids, conspiracies, and mysteries. I truly do enjoy the show. Like, that's not just like, oh, my friend's on TV, that's cool. Like, I enjoy it. And it's cool, especially since you're going through all 50 states. But with that, I will kick it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Court. Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. It's at Hydra Thoughts. One series we have right now is Cryptids Across America. So we're going through America and looking at the cryptids in each state. We just did Nebraska, was the latest one. And the next video that we have coming up is the Bennington Triangle, which is a triangle in Vermont that people disappeared in the late 40s and early 50s. Kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, but it's all landlocked.
Spoiler alert, it was the mafia. I don't know. I'm just making it up.
It wasn't, but
okay.
Anyway, yeah, come subscribe to my channel. Check it out. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, thank you, Court. I appreciate all the support and all my supporters from the Discord. I appreciate you guys too. It means a lot.
Yeah. Matt, anything for you? You want to plug in here?
No, I don't have any plugins. I'm not on anything.
If you want to be Matt's friend, jump on the Discord and be Matt's friend.
His phone number is 48.
I live under a rock. Let me be under my rock.
Yeah, chug that milk, baby.
Poor man and his chocolate milk alone.
Milk episode when?
And all it is us with a gallon of milk, and we have to go as long as we can without throwing up.
Dude, it's gonna touch my lips and I'm gonna throw up. I can't drink milk.
I got this in the bag.
Yeah, I will die.
Matt's gonna drink both my gallons. He's gonna drink his and mine because he's a homie like that.
Nice.
I got you.
Cool. Well, that was another fun episode of Lorehammer. Coming up this week, we got a bunch of minor Xeno stuff, so looking forward to it. And we'll see you all tomorrow, I suppose. Adios.
See ya
later.